Right, there we go.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Can you hear and see me?
Yeah, I can. I was like, well, guess I'm not going live now.
Yeah, no idea what's happening. Okay.
What's this called?
Right. This is Melon. We are now live on YouTube. Sorry, we're live. We're on my YouTube, we're on Twitch, Facebook, and Twitter.
All at the same time.
All at the same time right now.
The world is insane now. And can we see all of those chats in the same chat right here?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I think we might just have to log into everything individually.
By the way, everyone, we are all technologically illiterate in this stream today. I didn't even know Twitter did live streams.
Neither did I. I need to find it and see if I can see it. Let's see. It was just an option on the streaming software. So I'd signed up for Streamlabs Pro.
Did you?
And getting this web streaming thing is part of it. So
really,
yeah,
cool as hell. Okay, here's your account. Yeah, guess you are live. We are live on Twitter. That's interesting.
Wow,
that's a development. Okay.
Yeah. So that's the thing that can happen. Right, smashing. I didn't know. But that's it. We're live on YouTube. I can see the chat there, and we're also.
I'm going to send a chat in the Twitter one to see if that comes up in our little thingy. Can I even send a chat in here? Maybe not.
I will.
Oh no, I just unmuted that. Didn't need that today. I'll fucking retweet it. Whatever.
Just trying to.
D-Rave. Yes, I just got a haircut today. Also, hi, Noisy.
That can go there. Then I can put that there. So right. So
when the fuck did you get a blue check mark on Twitter?
Last week. I thought I'd give it a go. It's sort of £9 a month. What can it hurt?
Because I saw that and I was I forgot that it was a paid thing now. For a split second, I was like, Rich got a blue check mark before me. This isn't fucking happening.
Yeah, no, it means nothing. I bought it. That's it. That's all you can do.
What does it actually give you on Twitter?
So far, very little.
Yeah,
hang on, let me bring it up because there is does tell you exactly what it gives you, and it's really not. I can tweet bigger. Where is it? Here we go.
You unlocked bold text in tweets.
Yeah. So what's included? A better news reading experience. Discover relevant news. Enjoy articles without ads. Right. So it's just less ads.
Okay. Getting rid of ads. Okay.
New features such as longer tweet. I can tweet up to 4,000 characters. I can edit.
In case you want to post your manifesto on Twitter.
Exactly. I can edit a tweet within 30 minutes of tweeting.
Wait, you can't do that normally?
No. Editing a tweet has been a big thing. For years, everyone's like, when can I edit a tweet? Why can I edit a Facebook post? I can edit everything, but I can't edit a tweet. And the people at Twitter have spent years going, oh, it's hard. It's hard to do that. We can't do it. And everyone's like, really? Because feels like just altering a database entry to the rest of us. But okay, it's hard. You know how, Facebook have figured it out. And so it's literally everyone who's ever put text on a web page, but it's hard for Twitter. And Elon turned up, and I saw footage internally leaked of him and a friend sat interviewing an engineer at Twitter, and them saying, why haven't you done an edit button yet? And the guy saying, well, actually, it's really hard to do that. And Elon and his mate just laugh at each other. And the guy's fired on the spot. And 2 weeks later, there's an edit button on Twitter.
That is the most surreal thing I've heard in my life.
I would.
You would think they'd be able to, okay, even if it was hard, if every other website has it, you'd think they could get one guy who worked at Google or something, hire them and be like, hey, can you guys help us out?
Yeah. Can you call your friend at Facebook and say that edit button? How does it work?
They act like they don't have they didn't have Zuckerberg on speed dial, probably. The CEO act like that. Yo, Zuck, bro, we need an edit button over here. No, dude, that's classified information. That's too valuable. We know how hard it is. It took our engineers years to get that down.
And so they were just awful. So I can edit a tweet. I can upload 1080p video. I didn't know I couldn't do that. I can upload video up to an hour long on the website, which did leave me wondering, should I post videos on Twitter, or is it better to just keep them all on YouTube where they belong?
I have not even considered posting a video because, like, I always just kind of think, what is the audience of these platforms looking for?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard somebody on Twitter say, I just watched this awesome 10-minute video on Twitter. You know what I mean? Like, I would say, like, posting, like, TikToks there. I think that would work. Yeah, those would probably be really good.
I've been posting some short form stuff there, but in general, I don't know. I don't want to. You don't want to sort of dilute your audience or whatever. Like, I like keeping the long form stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, that's you. Like, I kind of have mine structured that everything is kind of built around getting people to YouTube because it's the only work that I'm actually proud of.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, I think. And I don't mind. I don't mind directing people to TikTok, but it still doesn't have the same. I don't feel like there's the same audience connection there.
Yeah, like I was just before when I asked you if you want to go on TikTok or on YouTube, I was like literally thinking, I was like, how I wanted to describe how it's like TikTok doesn't feel like home. You know what I mean?
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It feels weird still. You're absolutely right. And
I even have like a bunch of people on TikTok who like are purely TikTok people. And actually, I forgot. I should probably share this to my page so people know that we're doing this. My audience has no clue right now. But like, I even have like quite a few people there who I'm like, oh, I have seen you pop up in my live streams like almost every time. Like, I know who you are. Like, I like you, whatever. But it's not the same as like somebody I've seen comment on like 2 of my YouTube videos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just not the same.
Yeah, no, I know. And I don't feel like I can post I feel like every TikTok has to in some way be meaningful.
Yeah. I can't do that same like rehashing that everybody else seems to do.
No. It is a weird difference.
Let me 1 sec. I'm just making community post. See, I wish there was a way to like stream to both of our channels simultaneously from like the same stream.
Because
I don't
not the exact same stream that I can think of. I mean, you could like no.
Just like notify my audience and stuff like that because this is a pain in the ass.
I guess the closest we could get if you were like rebroadcasting a screen grab of what you're looking at.
I was about to say I screen record this and then
something like that. It'd be weird.
Okay, so here's this live stream, share, copy, video. Why will it not? Why is it not letting me share this? Fuck it.
It works till you need it to. That's technology for you.
Okay, that worked. Because, like, you know how when you make a community post, you can do that little thing where it's like, oh, put in the URL right here, and it puts it, like, embedded in the post.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't let me do that, so I just had to post just the link itself on the community post.
Right, I see.
Oh, that was annoying. Okay,
the community post things are weird. Oh god, I'm playing with the buttons I've got here as well. I can change the layout of the screen and stuff. What is that? Oh, that's no good.
Oh, and now I'm gone. Oh.
Yeah, we'll go with that one.
Oh,
that seems better than the widescreen shot of us both. But
yeah, the widescreen shot looks kind of weird. I was
I'll
like,
go with the full screen
thing. Like, what if I did? How would it change if I no? So yeah, sticking it like this. All right, done fucking around. Oh, I had a question actually. Do you ever have those fucking days where it's just like you feel just everything just feels what's the word? dull, monotonous. Everything is just like you're just like out of it, and like I wouldn't even call it depression. It's almost just indifference towards fucking everything.
Yeah.
Because I was like in my room today, like just lying, like I was showering and everything. I like cleaned my room. I was just like lying in my bed, just not wanting, just like wanting the day to basically be over.
Yeah, absolutely. All the time. I've been kind of in a bit of a rut like that myself for the last couple of weeks, I think. Just, you know, and that's the blanket of meh. That's how I describe it. Everything's meh, whatever.
Yeah.
Just, no, there's nothing I want to do. There's nothing I want to watch or play or eat or place to go to.
Yeah.
Just, it all just exists and I have to deal with it.
I was so like, and like even now it's kind of bleeding into it. It's like, it makes me feel like a lot less charming when I'm in this kind of state. Honestly, I'm just kind of like,
yeah, you just feel detached from everything. It's almost dissociative for me.
That's what I was like, because that's what I was wondering. I was like, is it because like because I remember once when we were talking about it, I said I wasn't sure if I dissociated or not. These are the moments where I'm like, is this dissociation or is this just something different?
It's not quite dissociation for me. It can lead on to it, or sort of dip in and out of it. Dissociation is much more a feeling of not being part of the world, like on a dimensional universal level. Like I don't exist here. That kind of thing. It's much more than a kind of just not being happy with everything.
Do you also, I'm going to put the link in my Discord real quick too, because I realize it's probably an easier way to get to people than YouTube community posts. But okay,
I don't know if there's chat on the Twitter.
Yeah, I look because I'm trying to make a comment on the Twitter chat, and just to see if it would show up on this thing. And I was like, well, it doesn't look like I can even fucking comment. So what's the point of having a live if you can't interact with the audience whatsoever?
Exactly. It's a bit odd that. Oh, and I've tweeted, so it's no longer my latest tweet either. But okay, well, that's interesting. It's going and it works. I'll leave it on. It's not like it's tricky to do, but.
So do you go through depersonalization? Also, hey, Yeehaw and Ricky are here. What's going on, guys? Like, do you ever like look in the mirror and it's just like you don't think it just doesn't look like you? It's just kind of like a different person looking back at you. Because I do, that's constant for me. I think. Like,
yeah. It goes back and forth. Sometimes I do it. Do you know what? I tend to do more. I'm more okay with it when I'm drunk or something like that.
Really?
I can stand and have a happy conversation with myself in the mirror when I'm under the influence of something. That's fine. But day to day, it feels weird. And it's getting weirder the older I get. I don't know if that's anything to do with it. But
for me, I remember, so it's a weird story. It's a drug story, of course. Because one of my buddies, before I tripped on acid for the first time, he told me that when he tripped, it's like when you look in the mirror, it's like you're looking at somebody who, it's like you're not looking at yourself. It's like you're looking at somebody else on the other side of the mirror or something like that. And I had no fucking clue what he meant. I was like, you mean just looking in a mirror? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And so, but like, I remember like, I understood it a little bit better afterwards. Cause I remember when I took the acid, I remember going to the bathroom being like, I look like I'm made of plastic. And then, and I was like, man, that is some subconscious Freudian shit I don't want to deal with right now. But
yeah, it's that time I'm all right. I have, and again, do you know what? I tend to film these things. There are a number of videos in my photo library that are like, just don't play those back. They are inebriated conversations with myself that I've had in the mirror and filmed. I've done that several times. But more and more, honestly, the face I see looking back at me in the mirror is not the face I expect to see. And that is probably a symptom of aging as well, I think. God, I put on I stumbled across a TikTok last night that was complaining about the dangers of these filters that make you look like a teenager and how that's giving false body issues and that blah, blah, blah. And I thought, fuck it, I want to see what I look like as a teenager.
Yeah, right.
You put it on and it's like, oh God, that's depressing. And
Was it accurate?
Was it accurate? No, it wasn't great. And if I'd used it, you'd have seen him. It didn't look right at all. But it did make me look somewhat younger, if not quite cartoony kind of thing.
Yeah,
It was not passable, but it was enough of a difference. And it showed you like, here's the filter on the top and here's without on the bottom. And it was like, oh, I look old. And it was
all of a sudden you're like, maybe they were onto something saying that about body issues.
Yeah. It's like, I think they have got a thing there. And yeah, and it didn't help that it was like 4 a.m. when I was doing it, but you know, we all look rough at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
But oh, it was bad.
Do you ever like feel like you look like several different people throughout a day? Does that make sense? Like your appearance changes that much?
Sometimes. I guess so. Sometimes I get very latched onto my appearance and how I'm looking. Yeah. But then I feel like there are several different looks to me that other people I think probably don't see or pick up on at all. And probably I don't know how obvious they are. And I'm not purposely doing a whole like now I'm looking different thing. It just sort of, it's difficult to describe. But yeah, sometimes you just feel weird. I just feel yeah, I know what you're talking about. Are you muted? I've got no sound from you. Oh. Uh-oh. Now we've lost sound. I can see you muting and unmuting, but it's not coming back on. No, still nothing. Oh, right. It's going to go and come back. We live in the future, but sometimes the future is a little bit wonky and it doesn't work as well as we'd like it to. Hi, everybody in the chat room. I haven't looked at you at all. And gosh, aren't you all over the place? I assume Jacob will be back any second now. If indeed he has left to you by the time you're seeing this. I don't know, because he's still there on the preview. It's quite odd. I don't know what times you're all seeing different things. I assume you're all seeing things at pretty much the same time. I still don't have him back. I assume it's... yeah, I know. It's just me now. Which is fine. What do you guys want to talk about? What have you been talking about? Let me say hi to everybody. Hi, everybody. Hi, Sandra. Hi, BPD Rave. Hi, Noisy. Hi, Super Anxiety Chick. This is it. We can get other people on here, but I mean, we can get other people on here. I can't get the one person on here. I assume that. Oh, here we go. Here we go. And we're back.
There we go. All right. That is it. My phone is officially on Do Not Disturb 24 hours a day now. I am so sick of the only times people decide to call me is when I'm doing a live stream or I'm having an interview or some shit like that. I'm very, very upset about it.
Yeah, always go for airplane mode. No, Do Not Disturb.
God, it's gotten me a lot. It has really helped me control my visible outbursts of anger because I'll be on a live stream and that will happen. I'll want to like throw things, but I can't because people see me. Oh my God.
Yeah.
People are saying, guys, sorry. I trust me, I didn't get banned again. Okay. I didn't like
no.
I just left.
It's so you did get everything back though in the end. I mean, what did the people at YouTube help? I mean, what happened?
Oh yeah, they were great. Like somebody told me to reach out to them on Twitter, which you may have seen me do. It was very bizarre, but they ended up DMing me, and like we were having a bunch of issues with it, but they kept working with me. They didn't ghost me or anything, and actually kept giving me solutions. Eventually, they gave me this form to fill out to like try and prove that it's me. I thought that I didn't give enough information. I was like, they're not going to be. I literally sent them a photo of me with my ID just for like extra shit and stuff like that. And I was so afraid that it just wasn't going to like work. But then they approved it, and I was like, hey, so I'm back in, but my account is still banned because of the hackers. And they're like, oh yeah, we're already working on it. Don't worry. Is there any changes that you noticed in your account so far? Because if not, you're probably good. And I was like, no, everything's fine. And yep, that was it. That like the hardest thing about that was finding my IP address, because that's the only thing that like I had to go out of my way to get. Wow. And that all took. I messaged that probably took only from me messaging them for the first time to me having everything set back up. It was probably a little bit over 24 hours.
That's the stunning. It's taking Streamlabs longer to figure out why my app doesn't work on my computer than it took YouTube to get you your account back.
Yeah, which is
phenomenal.
You should like. I wasn't like I was trying to keep my shit together, but I was spiraling. I was like, my life is over. I was like, sobbing and yelling at people.
I'd have been exactly the same though. Yeah. I mean, who can blame you when suddenly your fucking YouTube channel's gone? That's just.
I had like this freak out, and I was like, I remember I got like really manic for like a couple minutes, and I was like, I remember calling Tess, and I left her a message because she didn't pick up, and I was like, Tess, we've been doing everything wrong. We have to start a podcast now. That's where the actual money is at. And I'm like. I'm just like deciding that YouTube was never worth it anyway, and that it was the wrong thing to do.
Yeah, I did feel when you texted me like, how much money do you make from podcasts? It's like, right, I have some dreams to shatter here. Let me send a text.
That's what got me out of that phase with Tess. I saw that and I was like, oh
yeah.
Shit. Okay, so anyways, maybe Google support can help me.
Yeah. It's not a good place to make. No one's, as far as I know, pretty much no one's making money in podcasting.
Yeah,
just and especially not on an individual level, or unless perhaps you are already massively famous.
Yeah, that's kind of how I imagine it. That's what I imagine. I mean, that's success on like any platform at this point.
Yeah, I know. Back in the day, Ricky Gervais made a lot of money from it right at the beginning, but apart from that, I've never heard of anyone do well. There's a couple of networks that exist, but they have hundreds of podcasts that they put ads on and that sort of thing. YouTube is still by far the best way, or TikTok even.
Well, especially for us on YouTube, the amount of money that we get from it just because of what we do is fucking crazy compared to like, let's say, gaming or something like that.
Oh, it doesn't compare. If we were gaming channels, I don't think I'd have anything like the subscribers I've got.
Oh God, no.
You know,
and we'd be making like, and the clicks per mile for gaming is like abysmal too. I probably would not have even gotten like $100 off of this yet. If stuff.
It's The gaming stuff's really hard. There's so much competition because everyone does it, and who's really got anything to set themselves apart from anyone else?
Honestly, like unless you have like literally the best personality in the world.
Exactly. Which I
and
like
ours
to
are
think.
disorders, so we're already at a disadvantage.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's funny. Something really funny about that my YouTube and stuff getting hacked though. I literally the first night afterwards, I woke up 3 times during the night being afraid that they got hacked again and checking all my socials and making sure that none of them were hacked. It gave me like PTSD. Yeah,
it's change every password. Just, everything that you can have two-factor on, have two-factor on.
Again, they bypass the two-factor on YouTube though, which is terrifying.
Holy shit, what?
Yeah. I think it was because my password would, like, somehow if they have your exact password, they can bypass it using some crazy stuff.
Because I have that set up so that, in theory, you can't get into my YouTube without having my phone.
In theory.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's kind of terrifying, but okay. Right. Yeah, I'm going to sleep less well tonight now.
Awesome. I'm glad that I can project a little bit of my fears on that.
Yeah, I didn't know that because I was like, well, I have two-factor. Then I guess, you know,
stupid Nameless. He should have two-factor on. No
I,
surprise.
yeah, surely I'm more secure than a nuclear arsenal is right now, but apparently not. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's interact with the audience a little bit because
Oh,
we always
yeah.
do this. We just, like, completely neglect everybody who watches us. Also, hi Cassandra. So many people. Oh, bye, Rich.
Okay. Are we back?
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah, we're back.
I think I am.
No idea what happened there.
Okay,
I didn't touch a thing.
Yeah, I was like, am I now running a live stream on Rich's channel without him here? Because this feels weird.
Yeah, I have no idea what happened there. I have just discovered as well that I've got a unified chat on the window. That's actually useful.
So
okay.
are you getting it from other places too?
Well, there isn't actually. There's no one else chatting anywhere else right now.
Sure.
You're not missing anything. It's all the action's taking place on YouTube right now.
Okay. So, super anxiety chick. Also, hello, by the way. I'll start with a question: would fear of abandonment cause an NPD split?
Hell yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, I don't like. At first, I was like, that seemed almost obvious. Did I misread the question?
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. I think I've seen it done. I might have done it at some point. We're very good at, and this feeds into the unstable relationship stuff. Like, if we think we're gonna be abandoned, we'll abandon somebody first.
Oh god, yeah.
And we'll just split on them.
I mean, like, anecdotally, usually how it goes for me, if I feel like I'm about to be abandoned, my mind goes into overdrive, justifying why they're sacks of shit for abandoning me. And so this is how it goes. I feel threatened by abandonment. I convince myself they have been terrible friends to me, and I send them a paragraph this long of why they're the worst person in the world. And then I might block that. Well, I will not block them for a little bit because I want them to prove to me that they actually care about me and text me and beg me not to leave. But then I'll block them after, so I don't have to deal with the shame of it anymore.
That's it. But yeah, we definitely split if we're afraid of somebody abandoning us, and it's like a defensive split. In the same way that with the narcissism, you go straight to the why they're a sack of shit for abandoning you.
Yeah,
it's that whole with the BPD. It's that I didn't need them anyway, kind of thing. You know, and when you have both and they both get together, then I don't need those sacks of shit who've abandoned me because I didn't want, and it's double trouble.
I know the perfect word to describe all of the emotions that at least happen for me when this happens. They betrayed me.
Yeah.
That's the word right there, right? Oh, I wish throughout my life I had a counter of how many times I have said that about various people in my life. And then, and I look back on it and I'm like, dude, you had like a fight with your girlfriend, and because your friend didn't cut her off out of his life, you think that he betrayed you. No, man, it's not that deep.
Yeah, betrayal, treachery, all of that. God, and if I mean, not just saying it out loud, if I had £1 for every time I'd thought it, I'd be doing this podcast from a sunny beach somewhere.
Yeah, honestly.
You know, just all the time. But people do betray me, though. It's not my fault. What can I?
That's the worst thing, is that, like, and then once you're aware, you're basically having a debate in your head 24/7, being like, okay, I'm being insane. This is my NPD, but also they did hurt and abandon and betray me because they're evil. But also they didn't. It's so, like, nowadays I just kind of rationalize it by being like, yes, they did hurtful things to me. That does not justify me raging out on them. It does, but nobody else thinks it does, so I won't do that.
Yeah, it's And we go the other way with it though. We stop getting angry at things when stuff that we should get angry at.
That's it. Yeah, and that's the other side of it eventually.
And then we get walked on. And do you know what? I've had a few. This is just on my mind because I've had a few messages from people over the last couple of weeks, like asking, "This thing has happened to me. How do I deal with my BPD and getting over it?" And it's like, not at all. That thing that happened to you was fucking awful. It's nothing to do with your BPD. Stop blaming that on your BPD. That is not your responsibility, and getting over it is not part of your healing. It's like something horrible has happened. You're allowed to be angry. You're allowed to be upset and get mad.
Because like when you realize that you view the world through a completely different lens than what is considered like normal, then you can never trust your lens ever again. It's like from here on out, until I'm proven otherwise, I am always wrong. That's basically how it goes now. Because it's hard to fucking wait. Oh, never mind. I thought somebody said that they never heard of me for a second. I was like, oh, how dare you? But somebody has a question for you that I think came from my channel.
Right. Oh, yeah. Can you have more than one personality disorder at a time? Yes, absolutely.
Wait, Rich. Real quick, check the unified chat because somebody from Twitch just said something. So it does show all of them.
It does. It really. Yeah, it's up in there.
All right.
That's it. Awesome. Thank you. That's also Kat.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi again, Kat. Okay, but yeah. Anyways.
But to answer Michelle's question, yeah, absolutely. You can have more than one personality disorder. So I'm BPD, MPD. There are lots of people. It feels like BPD is the most common with comorbidities. Everybody seems to be BPD and something.
Yeah.
And I've never. Are there like NPD, ASPD people?
NPD, ASPD?
Yeah. Is that a thing? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's actually like the most common comorbidity is BPD and NPD, but then then like but both BPD, ASPD and ASPD, BPD are like also super common comorbid.
Right. I'm suddenly now thought of that. I'm kind of terrified of the NPD, ASPD people.
I have ASPD traits. Watch out. I'm the malignant narcissist.
Yeah. It's like, oh, that's not a good combination.
Well, like seeing it because my sister had BPD and ASPD, and it's super interesting because honestly, BPD, ASPD just looks like BPD like on a billion steroids and no remorse.
Okay. There seems to be a lot more rage in ASPD though.
Yeah, but like, see, this is something I always have a hard time deciphering. Because like one of the symptom criteria for BPD is like intense fits of rage and stuff like that.
True.
And like my sister's anger, like, well, so I actually asked my mom about this because I was curious if me or my sister had worse anger growing up, and she said that like it would take more for me to go off than my sister, because my sister would just like go off and start throwing shit out of nowhere. But then if like I got pushed to that point, then it's like, okay, people better fucking hit the floor. Basically.
Interesting. Do you know what? I would describe me and my sister in the exact same way.
Yeah.
Like it takes her nothing to go off at all, especially when we were kids. She would get upset and cry at things and get angry a lot. And I was a lot quieter, but when I did go off, the police and an ambulance came and that kind of thing. It was like, oh, Rich went off.
See, that was the issue, is that like my sister would never throw the first punch. She would try to get you to hit her first, so that she would have like the moral high ground and be justified in fighting back. But she would try to escalate to that point, but she would never start there. If I got really angry, I would like basically be there already, which is where like issues started to pop in like that. And it took a lot of people off guard sometimes. My aggression.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I kind of liked. I got off on enjoying that I could be scary on that surprise way. That when I do suddenly snap, it's a thing.
Yeah, honestly, like there's something gratifying about like people thinking you're unhinged, I guess. But it's such a mixed bag because on one hand it's like I want people to fear me. On the other hand, I get upset when people fear me because I'm like, why would you fear me? I've been so good to you.
Yeah. What is it? Michael Scott says, I would rather people feared how much they loved me.
Yeah, right. Because and it would like because I was literally talking to my friend about this, and she said that she would get so frustrated with me in high school for various reasons, obviously. But one of the big ones was that like I would intentionally do things make people fear me, get upset when people feared me, and then accuse people of not caring about me because I would because they didn't care that I was upset that they cared that. It was like a whole fucking thing.
People never think about us what we want them to think about us at the right time. That's what the problem is. So we have to. We're always annoyed at what they're thinking.
Didn't you get the memo? Today I want to not be feared. Today I want to be loved.
God, I'm not angry. I don't need you to be afraid of me today. But then again, maybe I will later. Who knows what's going to come up?
But be on guard. See, because I always got like my thing was always, it was like people who I felt like I never did anything to. Like it didn't even occur to me that people could be afraid of me from watching me do things to other people that I didn't do to them. Because I'd be like, I didn't do a fucking thing to you. Why the fuck are you afraid of me? I had just watched me like destroy some dude's life because he like looked at me funny.
Yeah, I had that a lot with sort of BPD rages. The whole I don't know that more MPD stuff. Let me think. Especially the stuff like when you're out and about in public and you're just going off at somebody, maybe someone in a shop, maybe a waitress, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you don't realize, that is upsetting and distressing for everybody with you. It is not you getting angry at this person on your own.
Yeah.
And every time I'm getting shouted at someone, everyone around me is cringing and thinking, shut up, Rich, shut up.
See, and that one's always interesting because for me, like, that's always the one, like, something like that, I would be so aware of what, like, the group around me, what their experience there would be. Or if somebody else in my group is doing that, I'm very acutely aware what other people around us are thinking and stuff like that. This was actually part when I texted you about like the cultural differences in how narcissism presents, because me and Ruth were actually talking about how like the stereotypical like kind of narcissistic like entitlement of like going to a restaurant wanting the best seat and then having a hissy fit when you don't get it.
Yeah.
And how I just couldn't relate to it at all because I'd be like, that'd be humiliating. Everybody around me would think of what like a bag of shit I am, blah blah blah. And sorry.
No, you carry on.
Yeah, and we were and we kind of hypothesized that maybe because I don't know how it is in the UK and then Wendy, she were some of like the big book people. They lived in like fucking Brooklyn, New York. So like those are going to be people who are going to be renowned for their hospitality and politeness, right? But meanwhile, me and my other very close narcissist friend who has the same sentiment that I do, we live in the Midwestern United States, where it's like politeness is like the most important thing. So we were wondering if that's what, I'm curious what you think about it, if that's why that presentation is different a little bit.
I think there will be cultural differences. What it makes me wonder, right? There's a difference between BPD rage and MPD rage. And the MPD rage for me, while it's still rage, is still far more considered and calculated and does include all of that public image stuff along with it. Like, I'm going to rage, but I'm not going to make myself look like the bad guy in front of all of these people. I'm not going to do that. The MPD rage for me comes out a lot more in sort of private. When I just want to berate, that's more like the angry telephone call, that kind of thing. In public, you can't let that go. You've got to have support because you've got that image to think of. You need to look good, whatever you're arguing. Whereas the BPD rage doesn't care. That's much more tantrumy. It's because it's coming from a place of just upset and rage. It's throwing its toys out the pram. And so it doesn't have that. I can't shout at this person because I'm going to look like a dick. You're not thinking that. And I feel like in public, that's... Sorry, say that again.
It's the impulsivity.
Yeah, it's that exactly. And so I think in times when I've had public outbursts, it's been much more of a BPD thing. The MPD, my MPD rage comes out a lot more like a Bond villain. It's so much calmer and quiet, and I can quietly explain to you why I have to remove your spleen with a pencil now. It's that kind of thing. I'm not gonna shout because I feel much scarier when I'm calmer.
See, nowadays I'm a lot more calculated. Well, like, I had less control over myself when I was younger. I can only think of like a handful of times I had like a public meltdown, and that's just because I had no fucking like I was so enraged and felt so just in my rage. I just did not give a fuck about anything. I thought it was one of those rages where like the entire world was wrong except for me, more or less. But yeah, no, I've never gone off. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I can't think of any good examples right now, and I completely lost my train of thought. Oh well. But somebody asked a really fucking good question about remorse. Do you feel remorse?
Yes.
And you're looking at Kat in the chat. You're like,
no,
yeah,
I do.
Of course I do.
Yeah, I do. I feel remorse, right? Depends. I'm not sure I'm going to feel it for all the same times and reasons that a more neurotypical person will.
Yeah.
At all. I do feel remorse when I've done something when something that I've done has had an unintended effect and hurt somebody that I care about and all that sort of thing. If I've ever said a dumb thing to Kat or behaved in a bad way, anything like that I have remorse for, because that was stuff that I didn't want to do, and I've caused bad things. But if we're talking about remorse, like I've eviscerated somebody verbally and made them cry because I felt it was time to do that, fuck no. If I had remorse about that, it wouldn't have triggered it in the first place.
Yeah.
See,
it's funny because like I don't feel remorse, I'm pretty sure. And now when I say that, it gets a little iffy because, what's the difference between remorse and regret and hell, shame even? Because when I look back at my life and the things that I fucked up, I don't know if I regret them because either it makes me feel like I was a bad person, like I'm inherently flawed because I was willing to do something like that, or because the effects that I had were obviously not pleasant. It's never like, I assume, correct me if I'm wrong, remorse is more about like feelings about how it affected the other person.
Possibly. Let's have a Google.
I need to get my emotion wheel out.
Remorse definition. Found deep regret or guilt for a wrong committed.
See, guilt. Guilt is the key word. I don't feel guilt.
And that's something, and it seems more about a wrong thing has happened with remorse. Regret is much more, you can regret things you didn't do. Regret is just, regret is I wish things had gone differently, however differently that.
It's like, fuck, I wish regret is a lot more cognitive as opposed to emotional.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, I'm like, yeah, fuck, I shouldn't have done that. That was fucking stupid. But I'm not like sitting here like, oh, that poor person. Like I just don't feel. Do you feel guilt?
Not for stuff like no. Again, like I said, if I've had an unintended effect, if I've hurt someone I care about, then yeah. And increasingly so, I do feel more guilt and that kind of thing. Yeah. But honestly, truthfully, if I've reached that point now, when I think of the incidents that happened in group where I just totally let rip on somebody, I still don't feel bad about that. I still don't. I think about it and I chuckle to myself with that fucked up sadistic grin on my face of I made him cry. Yeah, it's still
Like,
that. It's
the exception though, like with situations like that, is I would probably feel like embarrassed about having done that in front of people.
Maybe if I feel embarrassed about it, it's because I don't know. I wasn't meant to do that, and the fact that I did implies some sort of failure. Like I didn't achieve. My goal was to not shout at those people, and I did. So that's a failure. But apart from that, no, I don't regret what I said and the fact that I shouted at those people.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, okay, yeah, in that case, because like, because like when I do something that in post is obvious that it was humiliating, I regret it. But it's not like I gave a shit that I did it. It's I gave a shit that like now people view me in this certain way because I did it.
That's it. I regret the loss of public image. I regret the loss of trust from people, perhaps the loss of so many other things. But I'm not losing sleep over what I did to that person.
So
not at all.
Something interesting. Somebody like how somebody described guilt to me to distinguish it from shame is that they can feel guilt about doing something that they didn't intend to do, which was fascinating to me. I was like, wait, what? You didn't why would you feel guilt? You didn't try to do it. It's not like you were trying to hurt them.
Oh no, that is true. Yeah, you can feel guilt about things you didn't mean to do, but the shame. I mean, if you take that to an extreme example, you accidentally run someone down in your car.
Right, I laugh. Sorry.
Right? just the most extreme. Right now, and assuming a genuine accident. I'm not drunk driving. I'm not paying attention. Or something. Like there's something happens, and I run someone down and kill them, and that's something that I would feel immense guilt about. Because I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want to run anyone down with my car. I don't want to kill anyone or anything. There's immense guilt there. But shame feels like shame is more like I was to blame kind of feeling.
Oh yeah.
If I'm not
proof I'm a horrible, like this is just an example of me being a horrible person and being and stuff like that.
No, it's totally possible to feel that guilt, to wish something hadn't happened, to feel bad that it did, but to not feel shame about it. I think that's totally doable.
That's so strange. Like I don't think, like, I felt guilt once and it was the most bizarre experience of my life because I was on shrooms, of course. Most of my
okay.
Yeah. All my emotional moments are when I'm on drugs. But like I never imagined an emotion that was so like other focused, if that makes sense. Like it was like I wasn't so fixated on because like whenever I feel shame about something I did, it's always, oh my God, I'm a fucking terrible person. I'm just a bad person. Why did I do that? Yada yada yada. There was none of that self-deprecation. Which is what, like, in retrospect, fascinated me. It was just like, I can't believe it. Like, I remember, like, it was like I was almost horrified and being like, I'm so sorry. I can't believe I even did that to you. I can't believe I treated you like that. I was really bad to you. And I was like, and that would never, like, that just doesn't cross my mind nowadays. It would be, like, if I came to those realizations and I was sober, I would have been like, I am such a fucking shitty person. Oh my God. Like, I'm terrible. I'm a terrible person, blah, 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 blah. And just like ripping into myself the entire time. It was just, I don't know. Guilt's weird. I don't like it.
See, I am realizing that I experience guilt. Not internally. What makes right as only as something pertains to me. I don't care about what I've done to that person. I care about being caught. I care about the repercussions of that falling on me and what that makes me look like and that kind of thing. And that's what the guilt gets into for me. I don't feel like, oh gosh, I've hurt that person. Or maybe I do. I need to hurt somebody again.
Yeah. I need to hurt someone.
This is the
you just
thing.
pick up your phone.
Yeah, you can just practice these things when they come up. So that's it. I need to hurt somebody again, and then
you and Kat are going to get into a fight, and you're going to be like, wait, like this is a great learning opportunity.
Yeah, let me make some notes about how I feel.
Do I care that I heard? Do you think that I care that I heard you right now?
Oh dear. I need to. Yeah, I'll go through my phone, but there'll be somebody I can piss off in there.
Fuck up.
I'll come back. Sorry, I was just for science. Don't worry.
Listen, this was part of my healing process.
Yeah, it was. I don't really think that about your mum. It's all right.
No, yeah, I'm like, because yeah, it was just so like that. Just one time was so visceral. That's the only because like I conflated shame and guilt a lot. I didn't know which was which for a very long time. That happened, and I was like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah, no, I fear the guilt. I do feel the guilt. Or do I just feel the fear of getting caught? I'm questioning everything now.
The fear of getting caught's a big one too. Jesus Christ.
I think it's the fear of getting caught.
Well, was there any time that you hurt somebody that was like basically completely in a vacuum, that there wasn't anything to be caught for?
No, not that I can think of. When I say caught, I'm thinking about just anything bad. Anything you're not supposed to do.
Yeah.
Hurting people, whatever. There's so much guilt. I couldn't steal anything. I couldn't, all of the things you can do. I did just so much guilt. So much guilt. And yeah, I wonder if there are definitely times when there's none whatsoever. I don't know. Clearly, it's context based.
You can't even steal things.
Pardon?
You can't even steal things.
Well, it depends. This is what I'm thinking now. It depends, and it depends on the likelihood of getting away with it.
Would you be able to, like, if there was some like random mom and pop shop run by like two 80-year-old people who are about to retire in 3 years, and they had no security cameras up, and they were both in the back, and you could just steal. And you really want something there, and you could steal. Would you? Would you steal from this 80-year-old couple? Why not? You can get away with it.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Why not?
There's definitely some morality in that one. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't be comfortable with that. And there is some degree of punching down there as well, right? True. If I could steal from Asda, Walmart, I'd be much more right. Then moral obligations go out the fucking window. I don't go fuck then. Then it is purely about
pull a heist at Walmart.
Then it's purely about, am I going to get caught? Do I really need what the risk versus reward thing? And again, I don't know what there is in a Walmart that I would risk going to jail for robbery for, but that's much easier than a small mom and pop shop. But then you take the store out of it altogether, and I've got a hard drive full of pirated movies, and that kind of thing. I'm not that it's on BitTorrent. I don't do BitTorrent. Of course I fucking do BitTorrent. And I've, pirated music back in the day and all that. That's fine because no one's coming to my house.
See, and I think I think it's hard to feel guilty about wronging a like corporation or like a faceless entity in general, and especially one that like everybody knows to some degree. Okay, they're exploiting a lot of people. Not to sound like a communist or something, but they're exploiting a lot of people every goddamn day.
Yeah, it's a weird one because you have to strike that balance between, like, on the one hand, do I give a fuck about Amazon compared to the ordinary person? Like, no, if you can fleece some money out of Amazon, fucking do it. Whatever, go for it. Jeff Bezos is rich enough. I don't care.
Oh, I have a story about stealing from Amazon, but go on.
But on the other hand, if all of us just fleeced money out of Amazon, then it becomes impossible for anyone to sustain a business. And there has to be this balance here. And I'd like to think I try to do the right thing at every given opportunity.
So here's a question that I think is a good test of guilt. I still need to tell my story, but would there be any circumstance you'd be willing to steal from a friend?
No. I've done that, and it was the worst thing I ever did.
Because you got caught, or?
I didn't get caught. I confessed in the end, I think. And it's still something that I feel fucking horrible about. And this was 20 years ago.
No.
But no, I wouldn't do it now. But
I think that's a good indication of guilt, then. I think that's I think that's guilt without fear of getting caught, then.
Yeah. But that was doing something to someone that was close to me at the time. So I felt bad about that. And I think, God, I remember what it was. It's very difficult to tell details about what went down on a live YouTube stream that's going to be around. I think basically,
I think all caps, that's remorse.
Yeah, that's remorse. I think in that friendship, things had broken down to a point where I felt owed something by that person. And let's say I took steps to take back what I felt I was owed. But that was ultimately still stealing something from a friend. Yes. And I still felt that, however much I felt like I was owed that, whatever. No, I still think it's arguably the worst thing I've ever done.
What's fascinating to me is that, that's an interesting difference between guilt and shame, is that the shame of stealing from a friend would prevent me from confessing to them, while guilt would actually drive you towards confession, which I think is a very interesting difference right there that I never really thought about too hard before. Because let me put it this way. If I stole from a friend, I probably wouldn't, but I used to. I was really a bag of shit. Whatever. But I wouldn't nowadays. If I stole from a friend, I would be hiding the fuck out of that, because I would not be able to handle the idea that anybody would know about that, let alone even the person themselves or anybody else, that nobody will ever know, because I can't deal with that shame.
Yeah, I didn't directly confess it to the person I did it to. And I didn't necessarily, I don't want to say willingly confess it, because it's not like anybody made me. I was in a situation where I wouldn't otherwise have done that. And it was due to the, diplomatically spoken, the specific way in which I had become inebriated that particular evening. And it turned out that the particular combination of things I chose to use to become inebriated that evening apparently have quite a propensity for making one interested in saying a lot of truthful things. And so I spent a good 15, 20 minutes confessing a lot of things to anybody who would listen. And that was in there.
Do you have mods in the chat by any chance, Rich?
I don't know. Why? Is something...
And it looks like there's somebody who's going to come in and start being a dick.
All right. Okay. On YouTube.
Yeah.
Can I moderate that at all?
There's a way to hide him. I'm just going to... Let's report him for harassment or bullying.
I do have a moderator, but she's not there right now. Bear with me. And I've just lost access to chat. Oh, there it is.
Is he still in the chat for you guys? Because I reported him. I was curious to hit him from the channel.
Which is it? Yeah, I don't see him.
Thank you, Judy. My haircut is awesome, isn't it? Also, hi everybody who's been complimenting me this time. I keep reading. Yeah, I think they're gone. Yeah, I think that whoever the fuck that was, I think guys, did it know the troll is gone? Okay, yeah, me reporting it apparently fucking
okay.
Erased it, the comment.
Okay, I'll keep an eye on things. I don't know what.
People like that piss me off so much. My God.
I don't know what it is.
And I can't focus on anything until it's handled, because I'm fucking piece of crap.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Fair enough.
And it's people like that that'll leave comments like that. Those are the kind of people that I'll write back something like, I don't know, are you projecting or some shit like that, and then block them from the channel so they can't reply to me because I can't deal with it. But
right. Do you know, I think I have, hang on, I have, what is this? Cloudbot by Streamlabs. Keep your chat clean and protected. Build engagement with your views. I can engage Cloudbot for YouTube. What does that do?
But the story about grifting Amazon. This is just a real quick one. I have a friend who committed time theft.
Oh, really?
So he worked at Amazon, and basically at the Amazon warehouse, good night, Yeehaw. They go and they sign in to work on their phones, right? It's like wireless, and they go up to the little thing, they click it, and then whatever.
Right.
And it's Amazon, so there's a billion people there, whatever. And he found out one day he fell asleep in his car during break, and he wakes up and he's like, oh shit, and it's time to somebody says the Nameless Narcissist is an abuser.
What? Oh god.
Am I getting like, are people like, did somebody just make a hate thing to send them over here? Streamlabs, you're going after the wrong person.
Please refrain from spamming cat. Right?
Yeah, okay. It's like, no, that wasn't the stream.
That's not what we're after, is it? That's not the desired effect.
Oh, it's funny. It'd be awesome if like somebody made a. I wonder if somebody made a post about me to get people to come after me on some narcissistic abuse subreddit or something.
Do you think that's a thing?
Oh, I'm sure. It hasn't really happened to me. I mean, occasionally I'll get like hate on TikTok and shit like that. Some really visceral hate, but that people post. But I haven't gotten anything like super bad yet. Have you pissed anyone off recently, Judy? I'm always pissing people off. I can't think of anybody. I'm sure, like, if there is something like that, like, I got spies. They'll fucking let me know.
Right. Yeah, no, I haven't pissed anybody off yet that I'm aware of. I think I just depress people. All right, hang on. I am tweaking different things as we go. Don't worry.
Is going after all the wrong people.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Don't worry. I know none of you are doing anything wrong. It's all okay. I'm just trying to. No, you can use emojis. That was an overzealous setting. Don't worry. I've just turned it up to maximum. Just to see what happens. Don't worry. It's fine. I'm working with a bot here. Mod tools, I don't know. And I'm working with a thing that doesn't work properly.
See, I'm curious if this person, if this is the same person, or if these are separate people. Because if it's one person, it's super sad. If it's a whole group of people, then low-key I'm kind of flattered if a whole group of people feel the need to come after me.
It could just be bots, couldn't it? Could that be a thing?
Didn't look like one. I can't tell.
Right.
Telling Judy to stop with spamming symbols again. Judy, watch out.
Right. Sorry. I thought I'd turn that one off. I turned off emote protection.
If he's in love with Jacob, you just say that. Honestly, though.
Sorry. Continue to emote and emoji, everybody. It's all fine. I do apologize. This isn't an exact science. Although it kind of is, but never mind.
It is, but it also isn't. I guess I just use my word sad face. Rich banned emoji, so this is what we're...
Rich took the joy away. I know, it happens from time to time. What's this? Enable loyalty. Your viewers earn currency while you stream. They can use their currency in mini games.
What mini games?
Oh, I'll have to come back and play with this later. There's so much stuff within this.
No. Okay. Oh, but my time theft story. But yeah, my buddy, he fell asleep in his car during his break, and when he wakes up, everyone's clocking out, and he's like, "Oh fuck! Like I can't go back in there and clock out and leave." And so he opens up the app on his phone, and he realizes that he can sign out of the app on the. He can clock out of work from the parking lot.
Oh,
so he clocks out and goes home. And he obviously, sorry, now I'm super conscious of the chat because I'm people keep saying bad things about me. But anyways, so so he goes home, and obviously he's super paranoid for a few weeks, thinking that he's going to get fired. But 2 weeks pass and nothing happens, and so he decides he's going to do a little experiment where he goes home on a break one day, then comes back and then does it from his car again. And again, for a week, everything was fine.
Wow.
And eventually he gets more and more bold with it, where eventually he's staying home he has an alarm to go to the parking lot and sign in, and an alarm to come back and sign out of his job. Nobody has noticed he's gone. And for 2 months, this fucker is just doing that. And the only reason he got caught is because he slept through his alarm to go clock out one day.
Shit. What?
And he didn't even get caught. They just sent him an email being like, "Hey, we need to talk about. Hey, can you come in real quick to talk about this inconsistency on your clock in?" Which was probably just that one occasion, right?
Yeah.
But then he was just like, "I quit," and then just left it all for obvious reasons, you know.
Wow. That would be good though. That's a good thing to get away with. Oh, hang on. Someone just got into trouble for posting links. There's not a link in there.
No, I think Judy was adding people. Oh, that's funny.
Oh, but it should let you do that. That's not right.
Streamlabs is just bullying Judy at this point.
I'm sorry, Judy. All right, hang on. Link protection. Allow a viewer to only send links to chat from websites on the whitelist. Well, no, that's links. That's not app protection, though, is it? That I can't help you with. I don't know why it's done it. It's being weird.
Sad-faced grin.
Count symbol protection, emote protection. You should be able to do stuff. I'll figure it out. Harassment. Sorry.
Okay. Maybe we should actually interact with the chat again now that.
Yeah. What you all saying there anyway? Let's have a look.
Oh, here's a question. Rich, do you feel guilt about the chat bots harassing Judy?
None at all. Sorry, Judy, you're just collateral damage in my experiments with chatbots. I do apologize, but such is life.
But okay, chat, give us something to work with. Give us a prompt. While I am still scanning the chat, looking out for anybody saying anything negative about me. Why does people's saying things about me bother me so much?
Oh, my lights. Did someone? Oh, thank you for a donation. My lights changed color when.
Yeah, I was like, whoa. I'm like, am I having a stroke?
Yeah, no, it's again, we're living in the future. So if anyone wants to donate more money, my lights change color when they do it. It just very rarely happens.
We gotta make sure it works. You guys donate money again, just to make sure.
Keep doing it. It works best with amounts in the thousands. Sorry, what were we just talking about before that happened?
Well, he just sent in a super chat, so I guess we should pay attention to that.
Oh yeah, thank you, Ray. How are you doing with dating or relationships? My girlfriend's in the chat room.
So pretty straightforward answer on that one.
She's still talking to me to that degree, or at least she was in the chat room. She's not there anymore.
She saw the bot harassing Judy, and she was like, "I'm done with this relationship. This is the last straw."
That's it. He just sends robots after people now.
Yeah. Am I next? But oh my god, it's fun. But yeah, also Ray, I thank you. I love you too. I guess I will just very briefly recap what the fuck is going on with my dating stuff, which is I am technically single, recently broken up with, kind of. It's a whole complicated situation, but we are trying to work things out as we speak. Not right, and when I say as we speak, I don't mean I'm on the phone with her right now trying to work things out, but I mean,
yeah,
like,
it's not me.
yeah. It's not Rich, probably. Not yet. But yeah, it's just kind of like, you know, we both had our own issues that I thought were more manageable. So now we're in a space of we're basically trying to work through our stuff so we can be together, et cetera, et cetera.
More people are getting moderated. And I guess, to be fair, when you're saying how are we doing with relationships, just the fact that my girlfriend might be in the chat room is no real indication of how I might be doing with relationships. But
that is true. That is true.
I don't know. Relationship. I've had a lot more trial and error though. This is the thing, and you'll figure this. It's all a case of trial and error, and the more life you live, the more trial you have, and that kind of thing. But I don't know. I'm only just getting my shit together. I really am.
Wow.
You know, it's amazing. I find it amazing that anyone at your age has relationships, even though I did it, because it's like,
yeah.
When I think back to how I was like, why did anyone want to be with me then? And surely all people of that age are the same now. And you know,
I have friends my age who are married and having kids.
That's weird. That's
yeah.
Not at your age. Don't anybody do that at that age. Don't anybody. That's not. No. Don't worry that you haven't done that. By the way, in case.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm more self-conscious about people getting degrees that I don't have. But as for but like, I mean, I have an exception for one couple. They've been together for like 7 years, so I'm like, okay, fine. That's you guys can be married, whatever. But my other friend who's been with his I shouldn't say this. What if he sees this? I don't know. I'm just terrified for that child. I'll just say that. Anyways, okay. People are asking what our ages are. I don't know why.
How old am I? Am I 44 now? I think it's 44. Yeah, that makes sense. 44. And look, yeah, I think relatively speaking, all my friends had children in their 30s, with one exception, who was a notable accident. That was not a planned thing for those people. But apart from that, everyone else had kids in their 30s, and it's fine. It's don't rush to do that. Don't.
Yeah, I'm not.
Honestly, and looking back at my life, I don't look back at my 20s and think, God, I wish I had kids then. Even when I get little pangs of regret about not having my own kids.
Yeah.
Not then, not at all. No.
I can't take care of myself right now, let alone another human being. And I can't deal with that. Not to mention, I don't even know if I'm going to have kids because I don't want to fuck them up.
I mean, look, all that aside, the impact it has on your life and what you can do is just irreversible. That's just so much. And right now, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. If you want to just go out for a drive in the middle of the night, you can do that. If you want to move house to another country, you can do that. I won't
go for a drive later.
You know, when people say, "Do you want to go out on Friday?" There's only you have to worry about, and you can do that or not do it. And that is so good. You know, just bringing kids into that. Kids are great, but in your 20s, just do yourself.
For me, I'm late 20s at the absolute earliest, and I don't even see that happening because I'm single right now, so I would want to have a little bit of time between me meeting somebody and having kids. That's for sure. Also, people in the chat, Well, okay. Why does Streamlabs get mad at people for sending long messages?
No idea.
But people in the chat, does anybody want? Before I tell, does anybody want to guess how old I am? Because I'm very curious. Oh,
It sometimes takes a minute. Or did it do it? It's blue now.
Oh, wow. That was a very subtle change.
Yeah, sometimes it's... I don't know how quickly it does it because it's running it off a free IFTTT account. I didn't even know it still worked. Oh, there we go. It just sometimes takes it a minute.
Changed. I was like, wow, that was just like really bad. Like, oh well.
Yeah, no, it just takes a minute.
I'm curious. Wow, a very wide range of guesses for my age. I think that's the only time somebody has underestimated my age. God, the people guessing my age makes me feel so self-conscious. I need to get better lighting or something.
It's why I don't have good lighting.
Yeah, intentionally, right? Like keep it.
And you'll occasionally be asked by someone, are you going to do 4K? And you're like, fuck no. You don't want to see this in 4K. Are you joking? You're lucky I do HD.
Oh, by the way, no, Judy, I am 23. Cassandra said that I was 22, but turned 23. That was the only time ever has my age been underguessed. I'm 23 years old. Sorry to disappoint the people who thought I was in my 30s or 40s.
But yeah, don't worry about not having kids in your 20s. Just
yeah, about it. Trust me, I'm not eager for. Well, here's the thing. I'm about to be a fucking uncle. So, and also, I'm sorry for everybody who, who thought that I was a respectable, mature, and lived person. No, I'm 23. That just has a wild fucking life. Yeah, like, I tell people, I'm like, yeah, I'm 23. Oh, well, like, tell me your life story. It's like, oh, well, I worked at a prison. I traveled to the United States. I was in the Army. I worked at a nursing home. I was a financial advisor. So it's understandable why people don't guess that I'm 23. But still, what was I saying though? Oh yeah, I'm gonna be an uncle. So
that's a good way to experience kids, because you can be friends with the kid, play with the kid, and then go, here you go, here's your kid back, and then leave.
Well, let me put it this way. I would agree, but remember how I said my sister has borderline and antisocial personality disorder? She's not in treatment.
All right.
Or on any medication.
So you're gonna be doing a bit of helping out.
I'm sure that I'll be helping out CPS if nobody else.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Kids seem like fun. Parenting is a completely different thing. When you start to see things like the emails that come from school that you have to worry about and all shit like that, it starts to be like, yeah, this is too much. This is too much. And I like that I have children in my life to some degree now. That's great, but I have no responsibility for them. So that's the best thing for it.
That does sound nice, having kids without responsibility.
It's like just don't screw them up. Don't let them die. Don't screw them up. It's all good. That's so much fun.
But that second part is the part that really worries me. Yeah.
Well, it's relatively easy to do. You just keep your eye on them. Dogs try much harder to hurt themselves than children do. True. Dogs are a nightmare with that. If I'd let Paisley off the lead out the house, he'd be dead in 30 seconds. He'd find a way. He'd be under a car, something like that. Children are much easier than that. Especially now they're older and all that kind of thing. They're just not as mobile. No, they're not.
Like a dog, they can get fucking anywhere in like 20 seconds. A kid, like they're going to be like stumbling around and falling over themselves.
Yeah. And I think the kids I know are entering the stage of being able to be mobile and not really wanting to be. That because you get that unable to be mobile, and then they learn mobile and they are mobile for years, and then you start to move into teenage. I'm just going to lay here and watch the TV for the next 7 years of my life. and make this noise whenever you tell me to do something. I'm just gonna do that.
Although those seem like that's when things get. I would say that's when things get easy. I doubt it though. I don't know. I was a handful when I was a teenager. See, then you get a personality disorder mixed in there though, and then instead of it being like whenever you ask them to do something, it's suddenly there's silverware flying at you.
Exactly. So I'm going to put this chair through the window. That kind of thing.
Yeah, really roll the dice. But, okay. Ray gave actually a really good question that I really want to touch on. First of all, I forgive you for thinking I'm older than I am. Everybody does. But what advice do you give somebody recently diagnosed with NPD? I have such an answer for this, but I want to hear yours first.
I'm more interested to hear yours, honestly.
So there's going to be two types of people when they get diagnosed. The first one are people like me. Well, no, actually, I'm going to get to that one after. Well, the first one are going to be people who their world has just been like fucking shattered, right? They are now going on the internet and they're looking at all these videos being like narcissists are evil, they're abusers, blah, 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 blah. They're thinking they're the worst person because, you know, we're splitting on ourselves. Our self-esteem is going through the damn floor. And we're just like, and you just think that you're a horrible person, right? I would give 3 points of advice for that person. 1, don't watch Dr. Romney, please. 2, everything about narcissism on the internet is wrong, and you are not a monster for having a disorder. 3, try your fucking best, and it's hard to get involved in like a community around people who are also diagnosed, or get yourself just around positive influences around it, because otherwise you're going to fall into this pit of I'm a terrible person because I have NPD, and I have seen this so many times. Seriously, don't watch Dr. Romney. Fuck.
No, God, no, don't watch that woman. Don't.
So, but then on the opposite end of things, there's people like me who you're going to hear you're a narcissist, and you're going to be like, fuck yeah, I'm a narcissist.
That's what I did.
You're going to be thinking, you're going to go on the internet, see all these articles about how we're master manipulators. You're going to be like, fuck yeah, I can. Yeah, I'm a master manipulator. I can read people like a book. I can play people around like I'm a little fucking masseuse, not masseuse, a marionette puppet guy, a puppeteer, whatever.
Yeah.
like they're marionette dolls. So keep in mind that, no, you're being grandiose about your disorder. Chill for a second. You don't have superpowers. You have a personality disorder. That doesn't make you better or worse than anybody else. It means that your brain's wired a little differently. But those are basically... And see, and if you're trying to give advice to somebody who's just diagnosed, be very aware of which group that they're in.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. No, I was definitely the second group like you, and I still am.
Oh yeah.
I have made no progress with my NPD. You know, if I'm perfect, it felt relatively no progress. The BPD was so much easier it's so more obviously wrong. It's so clear that it's all wrong.
Yeah.
And you can just wipe it all out. But the NPD is just, it's that, fuck yeah, I'm narcissist. Yeah. I'll get you. You know, don't fuck with me.
And I want to why I think, because I have one thing why I was able to kind of like make as much progress as I have, that I think is probably why you struggle with your narcissistic traits, because you don't really get this as much. Where I have always been like, I want to be able to connect to people because I feel fucking lonely all the time. And that's what motivates me through bettering myself and through therapy. But since you got that BPD shit going on, like I feel like you're faced with probably I would say the biggest detriment of narcissism.
Yeah. It stops me doing so much that part of me wants to do. And do you know what? It's that shame versus guilt thing again. And all that stuff comes in that I feel that shame and that guilt that stops me being as cold and unfeeling as I think I otherwise would be. And I'm noticing that more of those things are coming in. There was something the other day that was like, I want to do this thing and I know I shouldn't, but I want to do this thing. And like this thing usually, there was like this little safeguard that usually kicked in and go, it's fine, Rich, go and do the thing. It's fine. And it didn't kick in. And I started feeling like, damn it, I want to do the thing and I feel guilty. And now I feel bad that I wanted to do the thing. And now I feel even worse because I still really want to do the thing. And it's like, yeah, these safeguards are kicking in now and I don't like it. Because it makes me, it actually makes me feel weak, less well defended.
Oh, yeah.
And all of those things that the narcissism gives you, I feel less of because of it.
See, and that's the question, isn't it? That I'm always asking myself, is narcissism actually giving us those things? Or is narcissism telling us that our narcissism is giving us those things? You know what I mean? Like, is it that, like, is it a viable defense for me not to feel remorse and guilt? Is it viable? Do I actually read people any better than a normal person would? Do I actually, I don't know, can I manipulate better to protect myself even? Like, I question that stuff now sometimes. I'm like, how much of that is my NPD telling me, yeah, having NPD is the best thing in the world because you have NPD?
I mean, look, that is very valid. And I think that the desire to do those things doesn't necessarily bring the ability to do those things. And we convince ourselves we can. We convince ourselves we're master manipulators, whatever, and we want to be one. But that desire to be one doesn't mean we are one.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and so there's all that goes with it. But I think, you know, in terms of not just that stuff, but just being able to attack, to be that person that others are afraid of because they know what we're capable of and all that kind of thing, that feels gone from me. And I do feel just weaker, less frightening, less whatever.
You feel,
I don't know.
I have the word neutered.
Yeah.
That's the word
that is exactly it.
Yeah.
That is exactly it. And it's an uncomfortable feeling. It really is.
It feels like it's like when you it's weird because I'm sure you do as well, like view the world as like this, you know, dog eat dog kind of situation, right? But everybody's pretending that it's not like that, and then it's like you're the only one that's not pretending that like it's not like that. And then one day your fucking world is flipped on its head and they're like, oh, actually I was the one that was wrong. It's not, everybody's not as out to get me as I think that they are. And they're actually the ones that are right and they aren't pretending. I don't fucking believe any of you, but now I have to pretend really hard that I do because that's what is expected of me. And I don't know and now I feel vulnerable and raw.
That is something I struggle with because I think that the world is full of people who not only think like us, but actually think far worse than us and are willing to do far worse than you and I are willing to do in order to get what they want.
Like genuinely sadistic and Machiavellian.
Yeah. And in that, let's include, you know, everybody rich, everybody in politics, everybody in power, all of these people. I think there's more than enough out of control, untreated, uncaring, unfeeling narcissists within the business world that are fucking loaded and live lives the likes of which you and I can't imagine.
Yep.
And I sometimes feel like the only people telling us that the world is not that dog eat dog world are the people who have not got that thing. The people who've got, like, you know, for one, Jeff Bezos will tell you this is a fucking dog eat dog world and he's a big fucking dog. Yeah. And Mark Zuckerberg will tell you the same thing. And Bill Gates will tell you the same thing. But my dad will be, can't you just calm down a bit? You shouldn't be getting that angry. And you think, yeah, that's great that you all don't think that. But that game is being played and people are winning that game. And those people are having better lives and existences than the rest of us.
It feels like people just want to like, it feels like part of our disorder is seeing the world as more realistic. It has more realistic than anybody else wants to view it half the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and that's something that I keep going back and forth with this one because I'm like, is it actually more realistic, or is my disorder telling me that that's more realistic? But it seems so just obvious that it is more realistic. I don't know. Or maybe the answer is that the value in life isn't so much what we're focusing on in terms of the hierarchy and status and wealth, but in terms of degrees of fulfillment. But that's a whole other weird conversation.
Oh yeah, we're into some hippie philosophical bullshit about the meaning of life and pursuit of happiness and shit like that. Yeah, you know, it's again, what would Jeff Bezos tell you the meaning of life is? Because he's not got cash to worry about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like he's not focused on, like, you know, making ends meet.
No, he woke up one day and thought, I'd like to have part of Apollo 11 in my back garden.
Which would be nice.
And organized a deep sea expedition to find the solid rocket boosters that fell off Apollo 11 60 years ago into the Pacific. And now they're in his fucking garden.
What I would fucking do to be that man. That's the sort of shit I want to wake up one day and just, like, want a fucking like I want part of the Coliseum in the backyard or some shit.
That's what happens. We've all seen that footage of the rocket going up and the bits of it fall off and fall back to Earth. Well, we know where those bits were. They just fell to the bottom of the ocean. You just need somebody rich enough and dumb enough to decide, I'm going to go down there and get it. And he did.
I remember fucking I remember my buddy, he's talking, like, it was right after Jeff Bezos went into space, and my buddy was just, like, going on this rant of, like, fucking Jeff Bezos just went to a rocket like he's fucking Evil Knievel or some shit. Like, he's trying to be the supervillain of our world.
He really is. He's, you know, Jeff Bezos's life is following pretty much the plot of the movie Moonraker.
Yeah, honestly.
We are going to have to send Roger Moore to go and get him at some point.
Have you seen that fucking clip of him where he has, like, these little robot arms he's manipulating? And, like, there's, like, this ball, like, giving off electricity in front of him. And he's doing that and, like, he's, like, messing with it and giving off an evil laugh as he, like, does it. Like, he's literally, like, just, like, we're just in a Marvel movie at this point. Like, that's all.
It's just because 20 years ago he just said, I could sell some books on the internet. And now here we are. It's ridiculous.
Oh my God, that's funny. Well, I mean, didn't he have, like, a huge ass loan from his parents when that was going on too? Because I heard about that.
He must have got. I mean, I couldn't set up an internet bookstore at the time. He must have had some sort of capital.
Fucking makes me. It's like, God damn it! I need to get rich.
Oh hell yeah, yeah.
One day, I'm getting there.
Will you excuse me for just a second? I need to go and get more drink, and I will be right back.
Cool. I'll pay attention to the chat for a second before we start ignoring them again. All right, people. Now's your chance. If you say something interesting enough, I will tell it to Rich when he gets back. Jeff Bezos would found the Tyrell Corporation, honestly, though. How can somebody escape NPD revenge if they betrayed them by mistake? Grovel. Like, fucking go on your hands and knees and beg. I mean, honestly, like, ooh, Ray, I have. I'll ask yours to Rich too, because I don't know. I can't think of anything more than that. But I know there's been a lot of questions, but I don't want to scroll. One sec. Let me write some of these down. Ray, I have a lot of opinions on Sam Backman. I have an entire video on that. To sum it up, though, he's a smart guy, ruled by grandiosity, and doesn't have the credentials that he claims. Other than that, I like him.
Sorry, who was that?
We were talking about Sam Backman because he's not the worst out there when it comes to narcissism, but just if he would just fucking stop saying Professor Sam Backman, I'm like, no, you aren't a fucking professor. You don't have any credentials in psychology. And the only credential you do have, he admitted in a documentary, was from a diploma mill. And so I'm like, hey, how about stop lying about credentials, and then, like, I will be fine with your content. But other than that, he's smart, and for a lot of times he doesn't know what he's talking about. He'd be dramatic though. D apparently has been asking a question for a while. Ow, fuck.
Careful.
I was fucking around with this pen, and then I just like hit my fucking the little spring thing hit my tooth. That was not okay. Anyways, she wants to if you how can somebody escape NPD revenge if they betrayed them by mistake? You're right. I would just kind of like beg on your hands and knees. That's the only fucking thing I can think
of. Depends on your particular narcissist, but yeah, you're gonna have to convince them that you didn't mean to do that. Good luck with that.
Like, how bad was it? Like, what exactly happened?
Yeah, maybe move.
Maybe move.
Is there a job in another city that you might like? I don't know. It's one of those things. It could go well, it could go badly. I don't know. I always hesitate to tell people to like go and deal with their narcissist, because it's like, it's fine if it's you or me, but some of us are pretty fucking unhinged. And you don't, I always worry about that. What if I send someone back to be murdered or something like that, you know?
Honestly, I try to avoid at all costs giving people advice on how to handle narcissists, because I'm like, I don't know how to fucking handle myself.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still relatively fucking unhinged. Like, fuck. There's, oh wait, you said I betrayed him by breaking off contact?
That's a stretch.
Well,
but there's the word.
He's going to see it as betrayal. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if he's still talking to you, I mean, that's the thing.
If the morning after he said that you felt like home, at least you're safe for now.
Yeah, I don't know. Just I don't know. Don't piss us off. That's the easiest thing.
Like, because that's the thing. God, I don't want to give. I hate giving advice on how to deal with us, because I'm like, shit. If like, I don't know how much of this will work. I have I've given advice on how to deal with narcissists like twice, and every time somebody's like, "Oh my god, that works so well," I'm like, "Oh, thank God." Usually, I just export it. I'm like, hey, go look up Wendy T. Berry's book, Disarming a Narcissist. It tells you how to have a good relationship with a narcissist, so that I don't have to answer those questions. And now I have a referral link for it in my fucking link tree, so that I can even make money off of deflecting the question.
Do you know what? I wish we could just post videos that would just staple answers to questions that I could just direct people to from within live streams.
Oh my God, yes. There's
I need a system that when someone comes in my live stream and says, "How do I get a diagnosis?" some bot immediately just lifts them out and plays this video. It's like, you are the 8 millionth person to ask in this minute, "How do I get a diagnosis of BPD?" Watch this video.
One I get, I don't know how often you get this, but I get, "How'd you become self-aware?" so fucking much.
I've not had that one for a while.
Have you not? Really?
And I think it's because I think a lot of my content has shifted towards the BPD side of things, and especially in live streams, I don't get as many narcissism questions these days. But yeah, I've had that one. How do you become self-aware?
That one's
like
con for me.
By fucking luck. All by luck. Or by having BPD.
By knowing something was wrong and finally having enough of my life being a train wreck.
That's it, basically. You hit rock bottom. That's how you become self-aware.
Because it's literally like, because you cannot convince me. Well, I guess you could. There's like one or two. There's like one that I've met that says this, but 99% of the time, I'm pretty sure every single person with a personality disorder knows something is wrong. They just don't really know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
And they try to ignore the fact that it's probably them.
Yeah. I've met people who haven't, as they've learned the extent of what their personality disorder covers, with people in group with, "Oh, really? You all feel that too?" I didn't realize that was a thing, but I do that. And, that kind of thing, that realization, that's quite a common thing. and quite nice to watch somebody have that enlightening moment. Like, I thought it was just me that became obsessed with people. No.
Honestly. And it's nice just having that, like, whenever you can, like, talk to somebody and it's like, oh, you get it, you actually, right, and not have like the worst thing that somebody can say is like, oh, that's normal. It's like, no, it's not. I wouldn't be talking about it if it was. It wouldn't be distressing me if it fucking was.
Yeah. That's the most infuriating. I feel like that. That's you don't have a thing because you've got that. It's the people who try to tell me at this point you haven't got a mental health condition. And you think, that's what I needed. I just needed you to come along and say, oh, you feel like that too. And I've pissed away all this time making all these YouTube videos and going to group. What a fucking idiot. And
I'm always like, man, I can't wait till my therapist of 4 years that, like, fucking, we've been wasting our time.
Yeah.
Thank God you let us know.
Apparently everyone feels sad sometimes, therapist. I'm not mentally ill at all. Oh, for fuck's sake. And just, some people.
See, I'm glad that in my day-to-day, I have never, like, in my real life, I've not known a person who was not like, nobody in my personal life has ever been like, oh, Jacob's not mentally ill. Like, for better or for worse. They all knew something was going on. But
yeah, it's quite obvious, isn't it?
Yeah. You don't think it is until, like, you know, you actually look back on your life and you're like, oh, wait, I guess I can see why they thought I was crazy.
Speaking of which, there's a question in the chat room. Sorry, that one just caught my eye. The Rich, what was your childhood like? Yeah. I'll answer that question. It was interesting. It was the interesting being the child of somebody with severe, undiagnosed, untreated to this day BPD, who transferred all of their fears and worries and panics and anxieties onto me, and took control of absolutely as much of my life as they possibly could, and left me with relatively no decision-making abilities, no personality of my own, no likes, dislikes, no all kinds of things. But all of that mixed in with my own BPD on top of it, and then horridness. It was, but there was enough. This is the thing with my childhood. There was enough between the moments of upset for there to be genuine emotion and affection and love and happiness, which makes it all the more conflicting. I can't sit here and say I had a shit childhood with parents who hated me and treated me like crap, because that's lies. My parents think the world of me. They're great. I spoke to them on the phone today. But at the same time, I was screwed up immensely by that, but through nobody's direct fault. So that's it. That's the story of my childhood in a nutshell.
Oh, now I'm thinking about my childhood. I'm like, fuck, I get out of this conversation real quick.
Yeah, I don't know what I think it should be for what I have. There was a lot of it. I don't know. It feels weird to say that there were elements of an abusive childhood for me, because they weren't the classic. I certainly wasn't sexually abused. I wasn't physically abused. That didn't come into it. And so you don't think you were abused. That you don't think about the emotional abuse and what that does to you over a prolonged period of time.
Because your childhood is, yeah, Ray says, Jake, I know yours is pretty bad. Yeah, a little bit. No, but, like, what's the thing with, no matter how, like, we shouldn't be ranking traumas, obviously, but no matter how abusive somebody's childhood was, that's still the baseline for them, right? No matter what. It's like, so it's going to be hard for them to be like, oh yeah, my childhood was traumatic, because it's like, well, that was just the baseline though. How could that be traumatic? Like, anybody in any situation can say, oh, but there's somebody out there with it so much worse than me. And the only people who aren't saying that are probably the ones that are dead. I mean, honestly. So it's like, I don't know. It's hard to, And and if any of those ones that are dead survive, they'd be saying the fucking same thing. That somebody had it worse. Which is why it's so hard. Why, like, we can never look at it through this lens of, was my childhood bad enough for me to have a disorder, or for me to call it abusive, or call it traumatic. I think maybe it gets into a gray area when it's like, were my parents abusive to me? Because that has a lot of implications to it. But I would say it's like, it doesn't matter if they are abusers or they acted in ways that are abusive. It's whatever happened in a way that did affect me traumatically, and that resulted in me being like this. Yeah.
That's it. I still think, I mean, and it's a semantic debate that comes up when we talk about narcissistic abuse, is about, I feel there has to be intent behind abuse to class it as abuse. Yeah. And which is not to diminish that something happens, but to call something abuse, there has to be an intent there. And I certainly don't feel that there was ever any ill intent behind anything that happened to me in my childhood.
And that's the issue, isn't it? Is that the connotation behind abuse is that, like, what makes somebody abusive? Because I think people can be abusive unintentionally. And because it's like, I think somebody, because I feel like just abuse is so loaded now that we can't use it to describe anything but the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
Somebody once had a definition I really liked, which was a consistent breach of boundaries that like they made no efforts to, like, fix, or more or less like that. And hell, I would say I'm guilty of doing something like that. Did I intend to abuse anybody, and does that make me an evil person? Well, I didn't intend to, and I hope it doesn't make me an evil person, but it was still abusive. And I feel like we should be able to talk about abusive behaviors in people, or having done abusive things, without being like, oh, these people are terrible people who should die. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's a very nuanced area. And I honestly, I still feel like it, without that intent, there's no question that we act in ways that are traumatic to others.
Yeah.
But I honestly, I struggle to refer to it as abuse in a way. It's something else. It's still bad. I'm not defending it. I'm not saying it should be allowed or anything like that, but it doesn't feel like there are obvious ones. You're obvious, like domestic violence. A guy coming home from work angry, punching his wife in the face. That's clear. There's clear abuse.
Yeah, clear cut. Yeah.
There's no argument there. We've got somebody who is purposefully, knowingly, willingly harming another person for their own satisfaction, tension relief, whatever. That's abuse. But when you have somebody who's acting in a particular way that they cannot stop and are not choosing because they have a mental health problem, even if that is resulting in them, perhaps even in an extreme case, committing that same act, punching their wife in the face, whatever, that difference in where it's coming from and why it happens feels a significant thing to me. And I know that from the point of view of the person being punched in the face, it's no fucking different. And I get that. I get that. And I'm not saying, oh, he didn't mean it. It's fine. I'm not in any way defending it. It just feels like it should be called something different.
Because that's the thing. I think that, like, that's the issue, is that, like, it's less about what happened, more about the wording and the connotation behind those words. Is that, like, you know, you hear, oh, this person was an abuser. That's what you're thinking. You're thinking of the guy that comes home and, like, it's like, you're late, and backhands his wife. It's like, get me a beer, and, like, shit like that, like a raging drunk or something. But like, I would make the argument that's probably not the most common type of abuser. I would argue that probably most abusers are very unaware that they're being abusive. And some of that abuse might be very subtle. I think, actually, Melly Cat said something that was very, like, I agree with a lot. I don't think my husband ever meant his treatment of me maliciously, but it was definitely abusive. I think the word abuse shouldn't imply that the abuser was being malicious, which I agree with a lot.
Yeah.
But the issue does come up, like, in a situation like yours, where it's like, you can't call your parents abusers, because it's like, you know what the connotation of abuser isn't. Wow, they did something that it was kind of fucked up. That, like, they're not, because it doesn't mean, because when you say abuser in in our culture, it shouldn't mean this, but what it does mean is, stereotype abuser.
I guess if you want to get down to brass tacks with it, and we define abuse as simply somebody treating somebody in a way in which they shouldn't be treated, then I guess then it kind of, that is abuse.
We're all abusers at some point or another.
We've all done that to somebody for one reason or another. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And some of us do it more extremely and more consistently, but that's fair enough.
I have a ex actually who Sandra actually said something interesting to your benefit. She said, I studied law in university. In sentencing a crime, there are two things: mental intent and actus reus. I can't pronounce it. Action. The most important thing in sentencing and crimes is the intent, as opposed to the actual action, which makes sense.
Well, and that's there's other things in law like that. I mean, that's the difference between murder and manslaughter, isn't it?
Yeah.
The outcome's the same, but the intent is different, and that kind of thing. And of course, I'm not excusing anything, but just I cannot be clear enough on that. I'm not excusing anything. It's simply a semantic debate.
Yeah, and it's because I just feel, because the unfortunate thing is, I feel like why I do kind of lean on terms of using abuser a little bit more loosely is because I feel like when people can't call what are people who have traumatized them intentionally or not in varying degrees abusers, in quotes, what's the word? It makes them feel invalidated. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, oh, well, I wasn't abused, therefore it's my fault that I'm all fucked up the way that I am. When in reality, that trauma can be so much more subtle. It can be non-intentional, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a whole thing. I had an example from my childhood of why okay, so I had a relationship with a woman, and she calls me her abuser. And right. I'm like, whatever. But like, somebody hears that, right? If you heard nothing about me and all you knew is that I abuse this woman, your thought would be, well, that guy's a sack of shit, right?
Yeah.
But how she was abused in this relationship, and I think the term is being used rather loosely here, is like, I was just dismissive of her. Like, I was just kind of like, I just wasn't in the relationship, I guess you could say, because I'm always criminally distant in my relationship. So it's just kind of like, oh, well, like, I don't need to be talking to you right now, or like, oh, but we just hung out. I wouldn't say things like that. I was just very emotionally distant. I'm trying to think of like a really good example of it.
Mm-hmm.
And occasionally, I was never angry at her, but she would see my anger towards other people. This, I will admit, going through a relationship where you felt completely alone in, and then feeling powerless over watching me get angry at other people, that could be traumatic for somebody. And that would make me an abuser. But the fact that the word abuser has such an impact on what kind of person that is, I think is like like there needs to be a way to describe somebody who did something like that without instantly making them to the worst person in the world, and also validating the people's pain that they went through. Does that make sense? I'm like really going on a weird tangent today.
It is. No, you're right. And it's a weird thing. And I have, like, if I were to describe my own abuse, and I've had such trouble with that. Like, if I would say, it's that same thing. If I was to say, yeah, my father was abusive. First of all, you go to, did he beat you? And if it's not, was there something sexual abuse? Like, no. Yeah. Like, well, how was he abusive? Well, he was randomly angry and you never knew when.
Yeah.
And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but grow up with that. It's, it's, you're living with a time bomb. Imagine that. That's really what it is. There's a bomb in your house and it's got a noise meter attached to it. And if you go above a noise, the bomb will go off, but no one knows where that level is. And it's on a different level every day. And no one even knows how big the bomb is. Maybe that's just a box with no bomb in it today. And maybe another day it's a nuclear thing and we don't know. And that's how you live your life. That box is always there in the living room. And then you start to realize how much easier you feel when the box goes out to play squash, and how the tension rises when the box comes back, and you're like, oh shit, there's a problem with that box.
I'm here again. No.
Yeah. And then one day, you're in your 30s and your girlfriend is describing you like that, and you think, oh shit, I need therapy.
Yeah, right. Well, no, for me, it was more of, oh, that bitch was just being dramatic, whatever, because, I'm a narcissist.
Yeah. But that's it. That's where it all comes from. It's that walking on eggshells. Yeah, been there, done that. On both ends of it. I've been the eggshells and that doesn't work. Never mind. Abandon that simile. It's, yeah.
Oh my God, it's funny.
How's the chat? I haven't looked at the chat for ages.
Yeah, like we tend to do this. 1 second, I got pee real quick.
Gosh, you've all been busy. I have 1,000 windows open all at once. Don't even know how long have we been going. An hour and 55 minutes. Hey, that's not bad. That flew by. Yeah, I've been the eggshell and I've been the feet. That's the best way of putting it, I think. I've been the eggshell and the feet, and it's neither are fun. But I don't know. It ties into, for me, it ties in. There's a lot. It's a complicated issue because I have a lot of issues surrounding that relationship and what was what. It's difficult to start talking about now. Like I felt there was differences between what I was doing and what was actually happening and what I was being told was happening and all kinds of things. So it's a complicated thing. Am I just yammering now? I feel like I am. Sorry, I'm getting emails while I'm doing this. It's no good, but that's...
Want to know a funny, inclination I had, which I probably won't do, is like when I went through my most recent breakup, right when it was fresh. Do you ever have those little crises after a breakup being like, oh my God, I need to change everything about my fucking self and what have I done wrong my entire life?
Let me think. Yeah. Right. This last time it was tricky. And I'm right because of my relationship history, that last breakup I had was the last breakup I had for...
I'm sorry, give me 2 seconds. Dia, I fucking wash my hands. Jesus Christ. I'm just a fast peer. I knew I wasn't going to be able to focus on...
You were too quick to have washed your hands there. You can't possibly have peed and washed your hands in that time.
Anyways,
okay. If they're timing you, that's not good. Sorry, what were we saying?
Your last relationship was complicated and having that crisis moment after a breakup.
So with that one, I'd already made all these decisions to vastly change my life anyway.
Yeah.
And I think the relationship coming to an end sort of got swept up within that. So it would be difficult to say that I changed everything because of the end of that relationship. Everything needed to change at that point anyway. And I wasn't working with a lot to begin with. I'd lost all of myself and who I was and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, kind of a lot of work had to be done. But yeah, in other things, so since and before that, it is very easy to, when someone rejects you, you do go through that process of like, why did they reject me? There's something wrong with me. So I have to change everything. But that's been, as I've gained a better sense of self and better happiness with who I am and all of that, rejection now is somewhat less upsetting. You know, it's whatever. If someone doesn't like me, whatever. Fine. That's
I wish.
cool. I don't care. It's I'm happy with me, so that's fine.
I wish. Holy shit.
It just doesn't. This is, I think, turn up the narcissism a little bit sometimes. Like, just be like, be comfortable with you. And it's harder to feel that rejection. But even then, I got dumped. There was a little thing about a year and a half ago. And I still go through, why did she do that? Because given a reason, I never believe a reason why somebody gives me to break up.
Oh, no, I feel that. Yeah. It's because I'm worthless, obviously.
Yeah.
Why are you lying to me?
And I still occasionally will find myself, if I'm like not busy, if my mind wanders, it's like, I wonder if she broke up with me because of that thing.
Yeah.
And it'll just, I've not thought about that person for a year and a half, but it'll just pop back in. Like, what did she come around to the house and just think, what happened? Was it the food we ate? Was it something I said that night? What was it? Is it the car I drive?
Everything that you could have done bad, that entire relationship.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
And it goes on and on and on, and it doesn't end.
Because I just don't. Oh my God. Because and that's the thing is that I'll have those thoughts, and I had this temptation where I was going to be I was going to reach out to one of that ex I was just talking about, being like, tell me what I did wrong. Tell me how I can fix myself. And I was like, wow, that's probably a violation of boundaries. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm in contact with quite a few two of my exes who I could ask, but I also don't know if I can handle hearing that from them at all.
I don't need to hear criticism from my most recent ex.
God,
no. No, I don't. I have a lot for her, but I don't need to hear any from her. But I don't know, that pressure for it. This is the difference between with the poly relationships, is that dates I've been on, people I've seen since being with Kat, there's a lot less pressure because I have Kat, and I'm sound and solid, and if I lost her, I'd be absolutely distraught. And I can sit here and go, I'm confident in myself, I'm fine, I don't need it. Bollocks, if I lost Kat, I'd be absolutely distraught. But anyone else, I don't care. I've got her. It's fine.
I got my backup. What the fuck?
I don't care. I'm awesome. You can toddle on if you don't like me. Whatever. It's fine.
Which might be part of that, that might be a little bit more of a BPD thing there, where it's because you are in a secure relationship, it's this being more secure in yourself and stuff like that.
It helped immensely with BPD stuff.
Yeah.
If it wasn't such a crazy thing to do, I could almost say, if you want to help get over your BPD, try doing some poly relationship stuff for a while. Wait, and it's insane.
How long have you been in a poly relationship?
2 years.
I didn't know that you guys were. 2 and a bit
years. No, I've been doing poly since January 2020, just before lockdown started. Incidentally, the worst time in human history to have made such a decision in life.
Very much so. It's I feel like that's the kind of impulsive decision I would make during lockdown, and then immediately realize, man, this was bad timing.
I wish I'd done no. It was just before lockdown, so we had no idea that.
Oh, okay.
That COVID was the thing, and I was out there merrily dating away, and really enjoying it. And then COVID went, and that fun stops. Go and stay in a house with your ex for 18 months. You don't know anyone else. Oh yeah, great, yeah.
Oh, that's fucking funny.
And then several months later, met Kat, which was great.
Ooh, that's a good question though that Judy had in regards to that. She also had a question. So, Judy had 2 really good questions, but she asked, "How does nobody get jealous?"
Nobody says nobody gets jealous.
I love that honesty.
No, there's not. It's feelings are valid, and feelings come from places and that sort of thing. And what you get used to is, first of all, recognizing the difference between jealousy and envy. And that jealousy is, envy is that I want a thing. And jealousy is I want a thing and I don't want you to have that thing.
Yes.
which is a very different thing. And when you start to look at it in terms of people, like, I'm jealous that that person isn't giving me everything and all my time and that sort of thing. And you start to feel a bit, oh, right, I feel bad for that now and that kind of thing. And it kind of just goes
Like,
away.
oh, is this right? Oh, no.
Yeah. But there's always communication, and there's always sort of like, if there was something that was causing me trouble, I could talk about it, and there'd be talking around that, and maybe behaviors would change and that kind of thing. You're not just left to suffer silently and like, oh, you're jealous. Well, deal with it. You know, that's it will be for some people, but we have really good communication, which is another thing that
the degree of communication and like mutual support that would be necessary for a relationship like that seems almost otherworldly to me, if I'm being honest.
It is. It's amazing. It's amazing. That's the bit I love the most. Honestly, is the communication surrounding it, because it's so absolutely necessary. You know, and yeah, if you don't have it, you'll eventually go under. But it's great. We can talk about anything and do.
See, I don't know if I'd ever be able to handle it. That's what I'm thinking about. But I understand. But like, also just having such open communication because of the necessity for the communication there seems almost weirdly freeing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, I am not going to spend 1 second worried that they're going to abandon me, because we have to be on the same page like literally all the fucking time.
Yeah. That's it. I'm not worried that, and there's no secrets, there's nothing hidden, there's nothing, you know, very clear, very open. I've felt more secure in this relationship than any other relationship I've ever had.
That's fascinating.
Which is bizarre to me. It really is, but I you know, it's incredible. And it's weird. I'm aware it's still weird. I really am.
Oh, it's funny. Judy had a different good question, which was, how open are you to mending old friendships? Because this one gets me confused sometimes.
Depends on how long it's been and how the friendship came to an end.
Let's say, okay, good universal one. You blew up on them, and it's been like a year or more.
If I've reached a point where I've kind of come around to thinking that maybe I shouldn't have blown up on them and I've overreacted, then I'd be willing to. There are people in my life who I've blown up on and still would not talk to today.
See, that's what fucks me up though, is that like I'm never sure of like, wait, but what if I wasn't justified in wait, Judy has an example of themselves. They went no contact on you in under 2 years. So they just like ghosted you. Or cut you out. I guess it didn't necessarily mean ghosted, but still.
Okay. I could. I mean, if there was no direct event or thing like that, I mean, I've got lots of friends. People just drift. You know, I'm sure I've got lots of really good friends that I might not have spoken to for 2 years or something like that, purely by accident.
But they told you why, she has said.
Oh, but they told me why.
Mm-hmm.
Still okay. I could deal with that. I think, because they've blown up with me. Okay. I probably wouldn't care. This feels like a them problem, not a me problem. You know, they've got no contact with me. They've had a reason for it. Fine, I don't care.
Depends what the reason was, though. Because, like, for me, if I found, like, let me put it this way. Once slept with my friend's ex, I knew it was a boundary. I was trespassing. And he ended up cutting me out over it. And I was like, man, fucking fair enough. Whatever.
Yeah.
Can't argue against that. But then there's some people who, they have told me the reason. I was like, that's fucking bullshit. I hate you. That would make me I'd be less likely to rekindle it with that person than with somebody who I blew up on randomly.
Mm. Yeah, I guess with the random blow-ups, you could have had time to come around and realize that shit, I shouldn't have blown up that day, or or whatever.
Well, I usually do the opposite. Like where it's like I will like I'll rationalize it the longer time goes on.
Right. Yeah, I can do that. But generally, I don't know. Again, maybe it's that I'm just calming down.
Yeah, sure.
There's still a lot of people in the world that I sort of ditched, got rid of, and don't feel bad about it at all.
Right.
And occasionally one of them will pop up. And I've had a whole range of reactions from some of them. It's been, oh, hi, I haven't seen you for ages. Oh, it's great to see you. And with others, it's just been, get rid of them immediately. So, and I don't know what, I think it depends heavily on what role I feel they played in me falling out with them.
Yeah. And that's the thing is that like so
know,
many of these questions, like they can't be universal because of things like that.
No.
It's like, give me every detail what happened leading up, and maybe I can tell you how they'll react.
Yeah. It's just the differing degrees of betrayal. They all betrayed me in some way. And it just depends to how much did they betray me? How much trust did I have in them in the first place?
Let's clarify, no matter what, everybody else was wrong except for me. No matter what.
Yeah.
It's the degree to which you are wrong.
That's it, exactly. And so it's the people who were closest to me, who I feel wrong, betrayed me the most, they're dead to me. But as we move back from that, then there's more chance of me being able to speak to you again.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely people, you know, that I really fucking hate still. That I'm still absolutely. It's come up this week on stuff. Right? There was somebody I fell out with 4 years ago at this point, and the IndyCar race that I was watching this weekend happened to be set in the city I know they're from. And I found myself watching that thing and watching the queues of traffic in the city because they you know, it's a street race. They shut down streets. And I was looking at that thinking, I hope he's stuck in traffic today. I hope he's having a shit day, stuck in traffic in hot Florida weather, thinking, God, why do they have this pissing IndyCar in my city? I hope it's ruined your day, and I'm here watching it and enjoying it. And I've not, you know, had no communication from that person for 4 years.
I'm trying to think the oldest enemy that I have not forgiven is probably. Because one about 5 years ago, that guy, I fucking want to cut that guy. Oh, I have fantasies about hurting that guy. And the other, God, how old am I? It's like, one of them was like 5 years ago, 7 years ago. Jesus Christ. I didn't realize how long I've been holding on to grudges, actually. This is an issue. I feel completely justified in it, though.
I think it takes a big thing for me to really hold on to it. Like, you know, there are people like when I was at school or when it maybe even as late as uni, but not even really then. That I hated at the time. But maybe I'd giggle if I heard out their life turned out shit between then and now. But I'm not actively thinking about them. But there are people from sort of 4 or 5 years that I still like. Oh, I hope they're having a bad day today. That kind of thing. There were floods. Where? Their house? Oh, you know, that kind of thing.
Man, that's terrible.
Yeah.
That's so bad. God, how could that happen?
I think there must be sort of 4 or 5 years. And a friend I fell out with, God, 15 years-ish ago, but we made up. That didn't go on anything like that long. Yeah, I don't know. You need a big falling out for me to hold on to it, and they don't come that often. Oh, hang on, tell a lie. When did Hooked end? Because I wouldn't piss on him if he was on fire. That's got to be, I can't remember. That's got to be a 2000 and something. That might be a pre-2010 one that I'm still holding on to. Can't even remember what that's about, actually. I just remember I really... can't even remember what that's about. I just know I fucking hate that guy.
That's the kind of thing that I would love to have a situation where I don't even remember why I hate them. I just know that I hate them, so I don't have to dissect if I was right about hating them or not. It's just like, I know they're bags of shit. That's all I need to know.
Yeah, that's it. He did something once that made me want to destroy him, and I destroyed his entire show because of that.
Nice. Also, D said, would you have fantasies about hurting your ex? I can't think of a single ex that I had fantasies about hurt. Well, no. Well, you go first. Now I'm debating.
I have had many fantasies about shouting at my ex. I have had none about causing physical harm or hurting. I don't have that kind of thing. I've never had that. My fantasies of causing pain come in a very different context. But not surrounding my ex. I still have imaginary arguments with her about stuff.
Yeah.
You know, that's definitely a thing. I still have the occasional sort of nightmare, seems a bit extreme. Bad dream sounds a bit childish, but bad dream where I'm having an argument with her about something, whatever. But yeah, I've never wished her harm or anything like that. I'd rather just be away from somebody. But I've never had somebody that has, I don't know, caused me that much distress that I've wanted vengeance or to get even. The most I've ever wanted is for them to understand how they've hurt me.
Like, because I'm trying to think now, because I have one ex in mind who like me and her are literally friends right now, but like she's probably the ex that hurt me more than anybody else. And it was funny, we actually had a phone call recently, and she was like, and she made a joke about us being trauma bonded, and I was like, haha, and I was like, oh shit. But but like I like even her in like the thick of it, like if something bad, like even if something bad happened to her, I just didn't want to hear about her.
Yeah.
Like, because like with people who I like hate, who I want to like kill, who used to be my friends, like something bad will happen to them, and I'll like laugh, and I'll be like, "That's fucking hilarious." As in terms of also, Judy at Rich sounds very BPD instead of MPD. That is,
it is.
That was more on the BPD side. But yeah, when it comes to like, I still want to fucking think about them if it's a girl that hurt me, because I think it's almost not a girl, but like somebody I dated. I think it's almost humiliating that like I cared about somebody like that.
I see why you would go that way with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't agree it's really a humiliating thing, but I see why you would feel that.
Yeah.
I totally see why you would take it to that place. Absolutely. But yeah, I'm much more of the would rather not have anything to do. That, do you know what? That getting revenge on your ex, that's not just MPD. That's fucked up incel shit. That's just, you know?
No, like literally, I don't know if I've talked to you about this before, but I did a video where I read a bunch of studies about stalking.
Right.
And like, trust me, if you're being stalked, fucking MPD might be the least of your, like, they probably got some narcissistic traits like entitlement, but the narcissism, not the thing you should be worrying about, basically.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want to give somebody that level of power over me to think that they could hurt me that much and that sort of thing. It's not a narcissistic thing. That not revenge, not like that. It's no.
Like, wouldn't it be more humiliating if somebody you didn't feel strong for could hurt you that much?
Well, yeah, but
it would. But
I don't know. I would take that as a sign that I clearly cared about that person more than I thought I did in the first place. But
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because I don't think people you genuinely don't care about can hurt you. I don't think that's the thing. Only people that you care about can hurt you.
It's like in retrospect, I'm like, oh fuck, I messed this shit up. I thought I didn't give a fuck about this person. They actually meant the world to me. Oh no, now my life is over. But and that is humiliating though, as well. Is that like, again, like when I was saying about that, it's like, no, it's not about being misogynistic, D. I would like. It's not. I'm not saying no, because trust me, I have girls in my life who I'd fucking get revenge on, hands down. Just romantic relationships is what I'm talking about. Because there's this one girl who I used to be like best friends with, and I would set her house on fire. No, I wouldn't. YouTube, don't record that. I wouldn't do that. I'm not that kind of person. Anyways,
yeah, no,
it's just humiliating that like somebody. It's humiliating that somebody could affect me like that. That I could care enough. Like I care enough about this person, so like.
Yeah, that has been the attitude I've taken with getting angry at people about things in general. Like this whole idea of who are they that I would allow them to make me angry? You know? And in a most recent thing where I had serious cause to be fucking furious at somebody, I managed to rise above it. I don't know if it was a good thing or a bad thing, but my attitude was one of like, getting angry at you'd be like getting angry at Paisley. It's like you're no more capable of comprehending why I'm angry or feeling anything about it than he is. And it, it says more about me that I would let you get me angry.
See, I wish I could ever get to that point. I don't think I've always. Have you ever heard the narcissist prayer?
Yeah.
That last line of it, if I did, you deserved it. That's kind of my mantra usually. Like, if I feel like somebody, like if I feel anger at somebody, like I never even, like my mind never goes to that, like, oh, this isn't even worth it. It's always just kind of like, no, they deserve it. They just like, I'm angry right now. They deserve whatever wrath they're getting and shit like that.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If that same person crosses me again, I don't know what will happen. But they managed to get away with it that time. I don't know. With certain individuals, if you're dealing with someone who's obviously just a fucking moron, you reach a point where it's like, I feel like I'm bullying you now. Like, yeah, you've pissed me off, but you're so incapable of dealing with what I can unleash on you. It would be like beating up a child. It's. But
I almost. This is going to sound really bad. I almost get to the point where it's like they deserve to be punished because they are so beneath me.
Yeah, I get that thought. That's more towards the darker side of things, I think, though.
Yeah, that one's like kind of rough. And I reckon that, like, before I even said it, I was like sitting here thinking, aren't I trying to destigmatize NPD? Well, I guess I'm just going to say this anyway.
But no, I'm with you.
And it's like, oh man, but yeah, it's not like just because I see somebody as beneath me that they deserve to be trampled on, but it's like, but also kind of yes. Oh shit. I'm understanding bullies a lot more in this moment.
Yeah, I do hesitate to pick on people too much that can't fight back. That is where I start to feel the guilt afterwards.
Because I don't care if they can fight back or not. It's about like when it comes to like I don't compare it to a kid because I'm like the innocence of children. Like I cannot transgress. When it comes, if like let's say there's some dude in if there's a grown ass man in a wheelchair and he starts cursing me out, and I would have no problem like tipping him over and kicking him in the face. Like I would not give a shit.
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
If he has any, like he has no capacity, like he could be paralyzed from the neck down. If he's talking shit on me, I could just beat the shit out of him.
Speaking as someone who accidentally yelled at a disabled person once, I had parked in the disabled space at the nearby shop. I was entirely in the wrong, right? In the little village of Howarth, there's a little spa shop, little corner shop. There's space for about 6 cars in the car park. I parked in the disabled space, thinking I'm in the shop for 3 minutes. What are the chances that that a disabled person is coming to the shop in the next 3 minutes and needs my space? Well, it was enough of one. when I was confronted by the man in the car park because he was struggling to get out of his car. And I confronted him saying he wasn't even disabled anyway and needed to shut up because he was standing up. And I wish I could have seen the look on my face as he pulled up his trouser leg to reveal his not a leg. And then informed me how he'd lost it fighting for his country in Iraq. And like, it's like, oh God, oh God, all of this is wrong. And I just got in my car and just drove away. It was like, I have nothing.
Don't say anything, just walk away and just.
I have nothing. No, you are disabled, and because of the army. Okay, right, yeah, you're fucking bulletproof to me now.
Oh wow, I hit every box of being morally wrong.
Yeah,
this is awesome.
That was it. I got all of them, and I genuinely was parked in his space. So so after that, I tend not to shout at people as eagerly anymore.
That's so fucking funny. Yeah, like, oh, my, dude, I would be like, if I was ever in that situation, I would not talk about that for like a decade. I would like, nope, nobody can ever know that this happened. Oh shit.
I honestly, if that had been, I wish I could watch it and it'd be someone else it's happening to, because it would be fucking hilarious. I can't imagine what my face looked like in the color of white I went. I remember just shouting, you're not even fucking disabled. And he went, oh yeah. And he just pulled his jeans leg. It's just metal leg. Holy fuck. And you can see you suddenly focus on the Help for Heroes charity sticker in the back of his car. And, oh God. Oh, I've done the worst thing to the worst person. Oh. So I didn't.
That could literally. You literally just wrote an episode of The Office right there.
I know. God. It's a fucking Curb Your Enthusiasm, is what that is. That is so something. And so I stopped yelling at people in car parks after that, because you never know when they're actually somebody.
When they're actually a disabled veteran, you know,
a disabled veteran, that you should just shut up and leave the fuck alone, and give him his fucking car park space.
Okay, I gotta use the fucking bathroom again. But before I do, so Dee is asking how much your feet cost. Don't give her your feet. If you notice,
I was around the other night. I'm not going down that slope.
So be careful is all I'm saying, because that's Dee, trophy about me now.
You don't have enough cash. Unless you do have enough cash. I mean, throw some numbers out there. It's not anything I've ever priced up before, but we start saying numbers with zeros on the end. Then I don't know. There's very little of me I wouldn't expose on stream for enough cash. I wish that wasn't true, but 500 pesos. I think we're gonna have to be dealing in some sort of, Can we have a real currency, please? Dear God. You can see plenty of me on the internet. Oh, if you only knew where to look. But enough of that. Oh, hello. Yeah, the dude with the colostomy bag on the plane. Yeah. To be fair, I knew about him. He just pulled his trouser leg up, and it was like I was stood opposite Lieutenant Dan. And just suddenly everything had gone wrong. Oh dear. This multi-platform streaming is bollocks, though.
I was fully expecting to come back and for Dee's photo to be of your feet, because walking away, I just heard, you don't have enough money. But then as I'm shutting the door to my room, I hear, well, unless you do have enough money. Well,
that's it. I mean, come on. I mean, I
mean, I do it for, God, I mean, I guess maybe I should put my standards a little higher, because once I did lose a bet at a party and they sold my feet pics and it made about $800.
Jesus Christ. I'd want some of that.
Yeah, I was very tempted to continue it with him, but then I got very ashamed of myself and blocked him on everything.
I can so do feet pics. I mean, that's no one wants to see that, but God, for that much money,
they like it with socks on. Apparently,
who am I kidding? For enough money, I'd do real porn. This
it wouldn't take that much.
We just need to start saying numbers. That's all. Start saying numbers and show me the hot woman. And it's like, would you like to be paid money to have sex with them? Do you know what? I will. Do you know, I had nothing else on today, so whatever.
I mean, yeah, it's the thing. It's like literally at that point, it's literally like there's some things that's literally just kind of like a time thing. If like I was bored in my house and some guy was like, "Hey, here's $20 to film a porn scene," I'm like, "Yeah, fucking okay. I got nothing else going on. I want money."
Oh, there's definitely a number. No, there is definitely a number that could be said. It might be an unrealistic number. Nobody's ever going to offer me that number, but there's a number. There's definitely a number.
See, and I love how obviously how obviously low my standards are compared to yours, given the entire chat is talking about how they have my feet pics and videos of my feet pics. So
this is it. My feet aren't on the internet. Lots of other bits of me are somewhere, but not my feet.
I think they only have my ankles. I don't think they have my entire foot. Like not my naked foot at least. So I win. I have something to get more money from now.
That's it.
If somebody sends Rich $20, I'll show my full naked feet.
Oh, that's fair. I'll accept any amount of money for Jacob to do stuff. That's fine. He'll do whatever you're willing to pay me for him to do.
I'm willing to do most things. I'm a narcissist. I desperately crave attention.
This is it.
Now I'm like just so curious if somebody's actually want to send money for me to do that. But now I'm like, wait, what if I'm underselling myself?
Well, this is just it. I mean, you were getting $800 for feet pics before.
That's true. Yeah. I am underselling. So wait, okay, amendment, $800.
$800, yeah.
Oh, that's fucking funny.
500 pesos.
500 pesos.
What is a peso worth right now?
I was about to say, that's probably like $5.
I can't even say it.
To USD.
It's roughly 47 pence. No, it's 4.7 pence.
No, it's wait, what? Or which kind of pesos are you? Mexican pesos?
Yeah, roughly. So 500 Mexican pesos are roughly £23, 35 pence sterling.
Yeah, because it's 27 US dollars.
Yeah,
that's worth it.
500 pesos.
Remember when we used to talk about personality disorders, and now we're just negotiating for our feet?
It's a slippery slope. I told you this the other night. I just got on with you now, which makes me even worse.
I'm dragging you into this rabbit hole I've delved down of feet pic selling.
Is it? And it's worse because I saw you get on. I'm like, here he goes. Like, oh, now I'm going. There we go. Never mind.
Okay, wait. So Ray, like, let's answer Ray because I feel like he has an actual question that's not related to feet, which is pretty awesome in my opinion.
That's good.
Do you guys have any major goals, and can you share them?
I mean, taking over the world is always like a plan B. That's like I'm not actively pursuing it, but it's a nice to have.
It is a goal. I wouldn't say it might. But here's the thing. That's not my major goal. My major goal is a little bit better. But that's always kind of on the list.
I always think I have fairly humble goals. Like I don't want to realistically, I mean, once we step down from taking over the world, I just want to be comfortable. I just want to like get on with my life and be able to do what I'm doing. I'd like to just make more money doing this. Really,
it'll be like Cincinnatus, the Roman guy who was like dictator, and then he just like stepped down, just want to work his farm.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I don't want a lot. I mean, God, That's a ridiculous thing though, actually, because I'm saying I don't want a lot. I just want to be able to do what I want to do. Well, Jeff Bezos did that as well, and his needed billions of dollars to get done. So I don't know. Maybe it's not that humble. It depends how crazy I want to go with it. You know, in terms of realistic goals, because I'm told, lofty goals are our problem, aren't they? So yeah, I just want to be comfortable and get by. I want to not look at the smart meter in the kitchen and go, Jesus Christ, have I used that much gas today?
Yeah, honestly, though.
That's what I want. That kind of thing.
To not have to like take a double take at my heater, at my AC every second. Well, not AC right now, but my heating every second being like, that's a little high, isn't it?
Yeah, that kind of thing. That's what I want. That's my normal regular goal. And of course, world domination. So
yes. So my primary one is world domination.
Yeah.
No, honestly, okay, not gonna lie, I still have not quite given up on owning a rich conglomerate yet. We'll see how that goes. But more so of just like, honestly, my ideal life, I own like fucking 20 to 30 properties that I rent them all out. I'm a fucking landlord and I live my life comfortably. Is kind of like, my goal is way more than that, but if I can have that, okay, cool, I can't complain. I just want a stable stream of income where my work is very minimal.
Yeah, which I think is a fairly common thing.
Mm-hmm.
And
honestly, I mean, my long-term goal, because from there, because I do kind of have this dream of where I would buy up a bunch of farmland and then I'd go to the Netherlands and I would try to get some seeings with their companies because like the Netherlands is one of the top exporters in food because they have hydroponic farming fucking down.
Right.
And it's awesome. And I want to go there and I want them to share with me their secrets. I started a company in the Americas that is just as efficient, but we have more farmland because half our country isn't underwater.
That does help. That works. I think I've got the owning a big conglomerate company thing. That used to be my big lofty goal, right? That was my big. I wanted a media empire, and I think I've given up on that. But in the same way that Germany were banned from having an air force after the Second World War, it's like you only want to you tried this. And look what you did with it. You cannot have another one. Maybe in 50 years we'll let you have some passenger planes again. But for now, probably best if you just leave the Air Force to other countries. And that's where I am with it. Like, I didn't have good intentions. It's not something I should be pursuing. And the last time I got, I was even on that path and I was nowhere near some sort of empire or whatever, but even the step on the path I took was enough for me to stop being an arsehole and treating people like shit. So if I'd gotten anywhere, God knows what kind of insufferable prick I'd have become. So
I want to have enough money to be an insufferable prick unashamedly. I'm not kidding.
God, it came out. My live stream. I was streaming on Twitch earlier and I was streaming the F1 manager game. And it's taking me through the tutorials. And I'm straight away, you're picking out people. Who are they? Can I fire them? They're shit. I'm firing them. And it just comes out straight away. And I can't.
Yeah, the minimum fucking, like the minimum amount of power that we have immediately goes to our head. And we're like, yep, fucking just start firing people.
Yeah, immediately. I was shouting at the voiceover artist who was doing the tutorial for the game immediately. Like, I've even forgotten your name. Well, I will call you subordinate now. That's your name. Your name doesn't matter.
Your name is number two. Number two, fetch me that coffee.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I was doing, and it was fun. And that's how I get. So it's probably better if I don't get like that, I think.
I haven't given up yet. I need it because I'm I'm young. I'm insatiable.
Well, that's true. You have time left. You have time left. I'm chilling out now. I don't quite just want
your plans for room domination have left you tired.
Yeah, that's it. My back and knees hurt now. I make a groaning sound when I get up. That's where I am. So I don't need any more world domination. I'm done with that a little bit. I'm not really. Just waiting for the right chance.
It's like, okay, world domination is never 100% off the table.
Yeah.
Like, if the chance arises, I mean, maybe I'll throw a coup. Maybe.
That's it. I've just become like the older Lannister in Game of Thrones instead of Cersei.
You're more patient now.
That's it. I'm more patient. I'm just happy to sit quietly, occasionally giving out shots of wisdom until I'm killed on the toilet. That will be fine.
We've all been there. Okay.
Yeah, we've all had those days.
Fuck. Okay. I need to go here soon, but let's actually engage and take like 3 more questions or something like that.
Let's do a couple of questions. Where's my chat gone? I've lost it here. I have so many windows open.
Recreating Game of Thrones shame scene. I don't even remember that.
Where they pull all Cersei's clothes off and make her walk through the streets with the woman ringing the bell going, shame.
It's been a long time since I watched it, apparently.
It's a very forgettable series. It exists.
That's why I never got back into it. Because I was like, it took like another year or 2 for the next season to come out. And I was like, I remember literally nothing. I can't get back into it.
Yeah, I've never known a series that was so big and had so much money spent on it go to nothing at all. And even when we had, the big thing for me with the indicator with that was when we had lockdown and you didn't hear anyone say, cool, I can watch Game of Thrones again. No one said that.
Game of Thrones was dead even then. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, died before its last season finished, which was just appalling. And no one's ever going to watch it again. Like Lost.
Oh my God. I was so into Lost, but you're right. It's so fucking forgettable.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it the other day, though.
And it got to the end.
The number. Wait, what is it? 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42? Are those the right numbers?
God. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
In fairness, I grew, when I was young, I binged Lost. I loved it.
Right. Yeah, no, it was the thing, and we all wanted to know why they were there. And I got that email from J.J. Abrams, and I asked him, why are they on that fucking island? And he replied, because there was a plane crash. And if you could have crawled through an email to strangle somebody. I knew there was a fucking plane crash, you twat. I watched the pilot.
Wait, is that a true fucking story?
Yeah. We had a Star Trek. We had the Star Trek podcast, and they were doing the movie, and we went on a little rant saying, "I just want someone to tell me it's going to be all right." And I eventually got an email from someone that said, "Hi, I'm J.J. Abrams' PA. We heard what you said, and he wanted to let you know that it's all going to be all right." And now I still wanted to email back and said, and he was fucking lying, wasn't he? It was a shit film. But it's one of those, and I still I don't know if that was him or someone pretending to be him. But I like to think it was him. There was a brief back and forth.
You have to at least cling on to that.
You do. And yeah. And so that was the thing. And now in that little exchange, oh, by the way, why are they on that fucking island? And he was like, yeah, there was a plane crash.
Plane crash. It's like, yeah, fair. I mean,
yeah, I know. First 20 minutes of episode 1, mate. Come on, tell me.
The thing that makes me think, yeah, that might have been him is the fact that, okay, I cannot imagine anybody who wasn't him giving that response.
That's where I went with it. I think if it was someone who was pretending to be him, they'd have come up with a shit thing to say.
Yeah, exactly.
That
or
was
like,
too...
Or be way more cryptic or something like that. And it's like, nah, dude, they were on plane crash. Like, what the fuck do you mean?
Yeah. And so, yeah, I choose to believe it was him. I did later get an email from, what's his name? Creator of The Watchmen. And all of that stuff. And that was not him. That was an angry listener pretending to be somebody else. Because we did a review of the Watchmen movie, which I thought and still think was utter unwatchable garbage. But when you said that at the time, some people really, really got fucking upset with you.
Let me make sure I'm thinking of the right movie.
The Watchmen. Oh, what's his name? Alan is a cartoon guy. I keep forgetting his name. And he wrote same guy wrote 300 and Sin City.
Watch. Maybe
Alan Moore. That's it. And I had a listener pretending to be Alan Moore.
Okay, so I don't know what that is. Awesome.
It's a shit film. And there'll still be plenty of fanboys who may hate me for saying that now. But I did have someone...
Right, stand by it.
I did have somebody pretend to be him, and they made up a fake Gmail account and everything.
That is fucking hilarious. Oh, my God. Okay. Fucking Christ. People are yelling at us because I said I was going to take more questions than they are.
Sorry.
Judy, like, listen. Don't be mean to us. Listen, I don't want to scroll up and find the other questions, though.
Are we both in therapy right now? There's one. I'm not. I was until October last year.
I am. I'm having I think my therapist hates me, but I am in therapy.
That seems to be a common thing of people think their therapist hates them or judges them or whatever.
Like, I feel like my therapist is just I think she's at the point that she realized she does not know how to treat NPD. And at this point, I'm just kind of this annoying kid that keeps coming back.
Yeah, no, my therapists were great. And I don't miss group. I miss it, but I don't miss it. I don't. It was right for me to leave. I've not regretted leaving at any point. Yeah. It was the right time. There's nothing more I would have gotten out of it between then and now at all. And it's good to have my Tuesday afternoons back, to be perfectly honest. At that point, it's been fine.
See, I always have I always look forward to my appointments because they're every other week.
Right.
And I'm like, thank God I can get something off my chest. Fuck.
I always looked forward to it. I was always happy to go, and it was always bizarrely enough, quite a tranquil experience, quite a very reflective, peaceful time, even when it was agitated. And I miss that. So taking that time for self-reflection, that purposeful, timetabled hour and a half of a week to I'm gonna talk about me and think about me during this hour and a half. That is in itself beneficial, but you can do that without group. I could if it meant that much to me, set aside an hour a week to do that. But yeah. No, it's fine now.
I enjoy having a therapist that will challenge me. Because I'll be telling her this shit, and she brought this up recently. Apparently I do this a lot and I didn't even realize I was doing it. Apparently I'll accuse her of I'll tell her some shit that I find shameful, and I'll be like, you think I'm disgusting, and then she's like, no, Jacob, you're not. Can you chill for 2 seconds? And I'm like, no. I didn't realize how much I did that until she pointed it out, but it is very funny. But yeah, having somebody there kind of challenge the pathological thoughts and the rationalization that goes on around them is, for me, very, very helpful most of the time.
God, yeah.
Grounds me, or at least gives me a reason to try to disprove that she's right.
Yeah, No, it's helpful to say these things to other people. Sometimes just saying these thoughts that we have out loud is enough for you. I've had thoughts where you don't even get through the sentence before you're like, I can't. This is just stupid that I'm thinking this. I can't even tell you about it. As soon as I start saying it, I know it's ridiculous. I'm sorry. And some of them just take that, and then others you of course get challenged, and you're like, no, I'm still right.
Oh,
you're wrong.
Oh,
you're all wrong. This room full of people, all wrong.
See, I'll fucking like start like, oh, it's like the worst thing for me is when I have a pathological thought and I know it's wrong, but like I need it to be right. So I start trying to think of reasons why it actually is right.
So you just have to believe it yourself, and you get, it works. It works.
Oh, it's funny. And yes, Allison, I do know that's projection, but also it's not. Also, I'm right.
Were there any other questions that we've missed? I didn't think
we missed a lot way back when, but like I don't think since other than somebody asked me how many beers I had, I'm choosing not to answer that one.
Yeah, I don't know what we're missing. If anyone has any, shout them out again. I don't know how.
Yeah, like they were all like being like, "Oh my god, it's so terrible! You guys aren't asking questions." And now that we're actually like, "Okay,"
I know, right?
They're like, "Nope." Every time.
You can't get the staff. You just can't get the staff.
It's like there's no pleasing you people.
No, they just want ankle flesh, and that's it.
That's true. I can't blame them. Because they all left. Bullshit. Ray is giving us the good questions. Do either of you recommend a good YouTuber? Not Romani, obviously. Lol. And then Judy had a good question for you after that.
Honestly, the YouTuber question, if I was asked that at any other time, I'd say you. And if I'm asked that now, I don't know.
Yeah, honestly. So like if it's purely about NPD, go to the only other person I can think of, Spirit Narc, my girl Tess. She's great.
Mm-hmm.
But that's going to be a like woman's perspective of NPD. Same with Cluster B Milkshake. I support Tess first though, because Tess is my girl, not my girl as in girlfriend. Girl as in she's my God damn it, she's my friend. Go look at Tess. And but yeah, like I mean, honestly though, like you, me, Cluster B Milkshake, and Spirit Narc, like other than that, and like all of us, relatively speaking, are like nobodies. And it's like there is nobody fucking out there that does anything that's realistic about this disorder.
I don't know anyone on the BPD side of things either. I'm sure there are lots.
I know one on TikTok.
There's Crystal on TikTok, and I think she's really good actually. I keep meaning Crystal. To contact her and
me and her are going live on this weekend actually.
Cool. Yeah, she's really good. But that's I'm sure there are others just because I don't know them. But as I always say, I try not to watch others because I don't want it to color my opinions of anything. That it's like all these things I say about these experiences are my own, and I don't necessarily want other people's stuff to drift into that. And I don't need other people's content from a healing point of view anymore either. I'm not trying to discover and learn about BPD and NPD at this point. Yeah. So I don't know. I tend not to watch a lot of other stuff.
The only time it's relevant to me is when I'm making like connections and shit like that, honestly. Like I'm not watching, like I watch you sometimes, I watch Tess sometimes, because I'm like, mainly when I'm in a mood of like I need to be able to relate to somebody. But like,
yeah. Oh, and Dr. Ruth as well.
Dr. Ruth, yeah.
Dr. Ruth as well.
Yeah, Dr. Ruth is really good. She doesn't have Heal NPD. If you're also like, if you're, because I was just thinking people who have NPD, but Heal NPD is really good, and same with Dr. Ruth if you're just looking for like clinicians to talk about it. Somebody said the BPD bunch, which I have not heard of.
That already sounds far too social.
Wait, what's that?
That already feels far too social for my liking. The BPD bunch.
It really does, actually. I'm pulling it up right now. But oh, they're pretty. The BPD bunch. They're kind of small. They must be. Oh, looks like they're pretty new. Okay, I'll look into them a little bit. But what was I saying then? Heal MPD. That's Mark Edenson. I actually have an interview with him on my channel. He's great.
Oh God, there's far too many people in this thing. What is this? Why do they have all those people?
Well, it's a bunch.
Well, yeah. There's so many. I was expecting maybe like 4 or 5 people, but there must be like 20 of them.
Wait, let me go to the about. 20 people. Oh my gosh.
In functional
once a week. Well, they're doing well. Do you ever like see any fucking channel that like does what we do, and you're immediately like, fuck, competition? Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, and any of them. But then I immediately hate them. Like, and I think we've both done it. I think we've just come to this channel and we found a million reasons to not like this. I've not I've not pressed play on a single video. I don't know anything about this. I've not played a frame of their content. I can tell you why it's shit and why I hate it.
They have way too many people here. What the fuck is wrong with these guys?
Yep, immediately.
I'm like,
but yeah,
it's so wild how that can like happen too. Is because like, I mean, like fucking, I think I told you about Borderliner Notes, haven't I?
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'm literally going on their YouTube channel here at some point, but I saw them post something about narcissism, and I immediately was like, "What the fuck are they doing?"
Yeah, it's all there. Yeah, I get that. I believe I've had the inner monologue of talking about BPD on YouTube. That was my idea.
Yeah, honestly.
And like, fuck it was. But, you know, here we are. If it was my idea, like, who did I watch in the first place? You know, that's...
In fairness, though, so here's what I want to say, is that 20 people with borderline personality disorder, how long can that stay cohesive? I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's a bit... I don't know that one. That's a bit odd, isn't it?
It's like every week we go check this back again, and it's like, oh, I thought it said 20 people. I guess it only says 19. Wait, 18? Wait, 17?
Yeah, they'll all be splitting on each other. It can't last so long.
Oh, it's funny. I will watch them though. I'm intrigued. Fuck. Wait, do you guys know at Nilitcher? Oh god, is this another competitor? Fuck.
Stop listing people that we have to pull down for no reason.
Stop making us obsessed over this.
Like, they were just existing peacefully before. Now we have to go to them and tell you why they're shit. And that's not fair.
Yeah, now we have to. Okay, like, now we are live. Oh, this girl. I saw her on. I stitched one of her TikToks, actually.
So who are we looking at now?
This is a girl. I cannot pronounce her name. Noelle Lorando. Judy put her in. I only know her TikTok. I actually stitched one of her things. I'm looking at her videos, and all of her videos get less views than mine, so I'm not threatened. But she did make one really good video about why, like, narcissists discard, so to speak.
Right.
And I actually stitched it because it was like really good. But other than that, she's doing way worse than me. Well, both of us on TikTok, so don't worry, it's fine.
That's okay. That's okay then.
Oh, Judy says maybe that's how I saw her. Damn it! See, I shouldn't stitch anybody else. I'm giving people support.
That's it. Oh, this. I can't even find her. Oh, that's weird. Never mind.
Nah, she was pretty good though. I would support. I would like give her shouts and stuff if I saw more of her stuff, because at least she's not just being like narcissists or inhuman monsters.
Yeah, anyone who's not doing that.
Okay, here's a good last question though, because I do have to fucking go. Have either of you had any big blow-ups recently? Anger outbursts?
No.
Define recently.
I haven't.
Did I have any big ones in the last year?
I haven't. It's been relatively. I've had nothing to get ragey about or blow up about. I've had frustrated moments. I've had.
Yeah, like I'll get my little anger going.
Yeah, but I've definitely not had a rage. No, nothing like that. No big blow-ups. Nothing.
Think yeah, about a year since I had a rage. Well, nothing that was relationship ending within the last. Well, no, little under a year. So I feel like I'm like in remission for my narcissistic rage, I guess.
I don't know. I feel like I might have raged at something.
Yeah, that's why I'm like.
It feels weird to just say no, does it? No, there must have been something. But I can't think of anything. I cannot think of anything.
Fuck, I gotta pee again. But when I get back, we're either going. If we can't think of any examples.
Well, I tell you what, we should just bring this to an end, to be honest, because we've just hit 3 hours.
Yeah, okay.
Right, but thank you for watching, everybody, and thank you for texting me and doing this. Yeah. This has been fun.
Well, thank you for having me on your channel and your Twitter and Twitch. Apparently, everything.
Yeah, we've been everywhere. I don't know what an advantage that has been. Probably not much of one, but there you go. So,
all right,
you take care, guys, everybody, and we'll see you another time. Okay,
yeah, I'll catch you, dude. We'll do this again soon.
We will. Take care, everybody.
End this, but it's fine.
Okay. Right. Bye, everyone.